That's what I'm talking about. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everyone, to episode 238 of Pen and Pixels. I am your host, Arvin Elleron. This is the show that focuses on story and narrative in games that we do here every Tuesday from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern. And it is my great pleasure to be back in the saddle again today with D&D with GOG, Storm King's Thunder. Sunday. Anyway, it's actually Tuesday. I hope everyone is doing well and is looking forward to our stream today as we get back into the Dungeons and Dragons world at long last. Until we get there, just a couple of reminders, though. First of all, if you haven't done so already, please follow us here on GOG.com. We always appreciate that. And the more that we can build up our audience, the more we can build up our viewers, the better everything gets. So please continue to jump on board and let people know. Yeah, it is Tuesday. And thank you, by the way, 8-Bit, for the being able to fulfill that request. I ended up playing Tron 2.0 from GOG over on my channel just before, and it was an interesting game. I liked parts of it and other parts I not so much, but anyway, but thank you for that. So yes, you can follow us here in the channel. You can also subscribe to us on GOG.com, and you can get some of those awesome custom sub badges and emotes that you can use here, there, and everywhere across the Twitches, and of course support the streamers here as well, and be part of the DRM free community by supporting the DRM free community. And last, please make sure to click through and support all of us individually, because that would be appreciated also. See, I didn't mind the light cycle races. It was the jumping and the stealth that I hated. But anyway, so that's the deal with that. Now, with that said, bam, there we go. Good to see you all. Welcome. It is always a pleasure to be back with you. I just want to say very quickly before we get started, just because I want to squee about this, and I know some of you are supporters as well, I'm going to make this really quick. This just came yesterday in my mailbox, my Icarus and Jelinek graphic novels. Icarus and Jelinek. You can go to my channel if you want to find out more details about how to get these for yourself. But I'm just excited because I know a number of GOG folks actually jumped on board and supported me with this. So I wanted to say thank you for doing that. And they are here. Retail release for these, by the way, is November 10th. But these are now on the way out to the Kickstarter people and to reviewers and blurbers. And I'm super pumped up. So thank you. Publicly to all of you for being supportive of that stuff, because my writing matters to me, and I'm glad that it mattered to some of you as well. So thank you. But today we are back with some D&D with GOG, which I am very excited about, and I believe that the person that we've got coming up next, let me double check, is Blackheart, who will be playing some Spelunky. Which seems appropriate because we may have members of our own GOG crew that may be falling down places that they don't know how to get out of. I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Chat, it'll be fine. You can trust them. It will be fine when all is said and done. All right, I'm going to unmute myself so they know that we are ready to go, and then I'm going to unmute them, and then I'm going to head over to show you, that the crew has returned. That is right. They are here and ready to go. And in the background, there is a baby rolling around on the floor. I'm pretty sure it's what I just saw. That was really, is that a baby or a cat? I just saw, Jai, is it? Okay, there's the cat. So that's the baby. You moved out of the way and I just saw like someone doing a roll and just like the baby rolling across the carpet. I'm sorry.
No, the baby's trying to do nap time right now, but she's having a meltdown.
Okay, all right. Okay, I see. That's all right. So sorry for the baby.
I have that problem too sometimes.
Anyway, it's a great pleasure to have with me this wonderful crew, which always has tons of fun, and which of course is not at all walking into a trap right now within the game. So I think everything will be fine. I'm going to start as always with the fearless GOG team leader, who has been seriously on a roll as of late with various things that are getting prepared and run. Obviously, we had the very successful GOG games recently and all that, won by team.
The team that shall not be named. It's fine.
It wasn't Table Flip. It was Rage Quit, right? Wasn't it?
Yes, Team Rage Quit won. Team Rage Quit won.
Rage Quit won. But it was seriously everyone who did all the work. As I said last time, really impressive. All the work that everybody did. I was not able to do almost anything for it. It was great. It pretty much did nothing for it myself because I just had so much other stuff going on. And everyone on GOG is awesome. And Pyron was the head of that, who brought this into being. So congratulations on that, Pyron. And also, good to see you. How are you? And who are you playing today?
Well, tonight I will be a German exchange student. But no,
you have no idea what we were talking about in the green room, chat. You just have no idea what we were talking about.
But I'll be playing Greta Gilden, Fire Dwarven Cleric of Foltest. May his light shine on your way tonight. And I think we have. I would need a recap because it has been 6 weeks, but I think we finished our shopping tour by now.
Yes.
Or at least the major part of our shopping tour.
No, you did. You're on your way to Yortar. Literally, we stopped with you getting on the teleporter. So, yeah.
Yep. There was that thing. Oh, yes, there was. Yeah, we had to talk to the Hoppers again. Yes, I now feel the rage.
It's your favorite, yeah. No, they're good. It's all good.
Yeah.
It is going to be great. And now, of course, also what happened, as we'll talk about in the recap, was Greta, of course, saving a temple of Foltest, a sanctuary of Foltest. So, Greta had to save the people from the evil landlord. So it was a very productive last session, as we'll talk about in just a bit. But it's always a pleasure to have Pyron with us. It is also always a pleasure to have Dark Saber 2K with us, who Saber and I, at the very beginning, were just exchanging stories about new hygiene protocols and about how companies think that you should be keep things clean, and then how that doesn't really work because of other things they want you to keep clean. And so we were having that discussion because that's an interesting thing to talk about, really, I guess, in our new hygiene driven world. Saber, how you doing? How's life with you, and who are you playing today?
I'm doing pretty well. As we were saying, I've been back at work again the last couple of weeks. So it's like hand sanitizer every 10 feet, slidey things so you can tell if a room's in use or not, which, hey, everybody, touch this thing to let everybody know if you're in or not.
Yep.
So, yeah, we were laughing about that. And I am back ready to continue. Well, damn it, continue the game. So Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah,
that's
there we
awesome.
go. The load screen from Final Fantasy VII, which I thought was appropriate since we are continuing at last.
I love it.
And I'll be continuing as a Cell Sigmauer, a firm believer in the power of luck, teamwork, and walking blindly into traps, apparently.
That is, yes, exactly. You'll be well suited to explain how we survived how you survived those things.
Yes,
because you're a survivor, is what we were saying, right?
I mean, you and only you will be surviving those things.
And I just fell down the player handbook rabbit hole of noticing something didn't add up on my play sheet. And I'm like, hang on, now I've got a cross-reference 3 different similar but not quite the same things. And the player handbook is beautiful. I love it. But the index is pure hell to read.
Yeah.
It's like 0.5 font size, and you're just like...
At least your player handbook is still one book and is not, as mine is, multiple pages that you get to just add in as much as you let. Look, I bet you didn't know it was a binder.
Just
player's binder.
Just use tabs for important bits. Just do what I do. That's everything I need to look at for my 2 campaigns.
But it's always a pleasure to have Dark Saber with us, and yes, I'll be interested to see. Celsig, I have a feeling, might be quite busy this episode, and as we'll talk about when we get there.
It's never good when the DM says that.
I just have a feeling. It's better than saying your cleric will be quite busy, right? Like, I think Greta will be quite busy healing this episode. What do you mean? Nothing. It's fine. Also, always a pleasure to have the new homeowner in the new homeowning space. Like, and this is only the beginning. Wait till you see the next point where he just has flames down the walls and like everything is just, it's metal AF. Welcome to the world of home ownership, Mike. Of course, I'm talking about formerly known as Screaming Joypad, now known as Peripheral Mike / Mike Smith. Mike, how you doing? How's it feel to be a homeowner, and who are you playing today?
It feels, well, first and foremost, I've missed you all. It's been absolutely wonderful having a bit of a break from everything, but also the house move and home ownership, like you say, everything's just kind of like, I'm a real adult now. I'm not really, don't worry. I'm not. But I'm incredibly excited to play tonight. I was going to say earlier on in the green room, I think I did mention this, that I kind of need a bit of a, previously on, kind of catch up from Arv this week. And then I thought, considering on my hard drive, I would reach for it, but it's under a book at the moment. On the hard drive, the external hard drive that I've got has all of the footage for the actual previously on this D&D campaign, including the kind of all of the voiceover and stuff like that. I just need to piece it all together. I thought I might shoot myself in the foot very slightly. But, however, you will notice that my work computer is no longer connected to this setup. So it's only my personal stuff now, which means it's all peripheral media stuff, which means hopefully, fingers crossed, the D&D catch-up video, which I am super excited about, is going to get done ASAP.
So am I. I'm excited to see it too, because of course the intro video you saw today was from this same individual, this gentleman you see before you. So
yes. Yeah, absolutely. And it's just something I've always enjoyed doing. But yeah, homeownership, man, it's weird. I found myself like really getting into DIY, and I'm a nerd. I don't do DIY, but I'm just all of a sudden I'm like, oh, light fitting, I'll change that. That looks okay. I'll change that. I'll do this. How hard can this be? What could possibly go wrong? And I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to say on my tombstone when I accidentally electrocute myself.
What could have gone wrong?
What could have gone wrong? It's like he swore he could do it. Mike Smith.
He was shocked to find the answer. Hey,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So he said he knew what he was doing is what's going to be there. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm genuinely really excited. If you hadn't guessed that already, everyone, I'm really very excited to be here. I am playing, who am I playing? Urash, the half-orc barbarian and devout follower of Tempest, and sudden amnesia sufferer because he has no idea what he's doing. And I didn't even know we were off to Yatar, to be honest with you. I'm just going to bimble along with the group. But yeah, very excited. Super pleased to be back, and I can't wait to get started.
Good stuff, man. It is partly the enthusiasm that is one of the things that I always really appreciate about, but you, of course, but also the players in general. So I'm very excited to have you back as well. And I'm also excited, of course, to have someone who has now told me that there are apparently zombie areas of Utah, and I didn't know this, and now we actually know. And there's no context for you, chat. You'll just have to accept that. And that, of course, is Tasty Chai, who is back with us here. I hope the baby is not still melting down too much, Chai. But how's everything with you and the baby and life, and who are you playing today?
Well, she's quieted down, but still mad. So now she's just in her bed doing this.
Silent
but
rage.
at least she's not screaming anymore, so
Okay.
that's good.
Okay.
Life is good. Baby is crawling and working really hard on her walk. So she'll crawl, she'll stand, she'll push off, and then try to take a step or two and then land on her butt.
Yep.
So it's really exciting and terrifying.
Yeah.
But exciting.
Yes. True on all points for sure. But it is fun, the whole surfing thing where they furniture surf from chair to the
Yeah, she's kind of trying to do that.
Yep.
I would also like to clarify, I am not in one of the zombie areas of Utah.
No, you're not. No, we were talking about the things that, the zombie walls keeping out the zombie parts of
I know.
Utah,
I was just making sure that chat understood that I'm not in the zombie hand.
One of the viewers right now is actually from zombie, like, oh, we'll eat brain of non-zombie Utah persons.
No! Anyway, I am playing River, a Silver Dragonborn, friend of the Harpers and a friend of party as well. Very excited to see and travel and figure out what it was we were doing, because much like her orc barbarian friend here, doesn't remember a thing. Pure amnesia here.
This is, it's funny, and it's always a pleasure, of course, to have Chai with us. And I will say that it's funny because, I've been playing D&D for 30 years, and I don't honestly know, actually longer than that now, God. Anyway, I don't often know how exactly I guess I just played more often, or maybe I just didn't do other things, and so there's nothing else to occupy my brain. But honestly, I don't know how before videos I was able to maintain and remember these things, but it's super helpful to go back to my YouTube and be like, listen to the last, depends on how long, half hour, 15 minutes to a half hour. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, yes, this and this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened. Because that's what I do to remember what's happening, because not only because of the time between campaigns, but also because I'm running 4 other ones. And so I need to remember what the hell was going on in this one. But yes, I do, in fact, know what we were doing. And so I will be able to give everyone this recap. Before I do that, I do want to mention, this is kind of a surprise a little bit for the players as well, that we have a new provider for us of music for this campaign. Not all music, but some music. I have an arrangement now, a licensing agreement with a company called Green Forge Studio, which has licensed licensed music to be used on my campaigns. They actually reached out to me, this company, probably about 3-4 weeks ago, and we started chatting a little bit. And so what we have is a lot of tavern music with ambiance and things like that. And he's also working, Gabriel, who's the CEO of this, is also working on forest music and stuff like that. I'm able to use this on my campaign on my channel, and I'm also able to use it, I made sure, on the campaign that's on D&D with GOG. So some of the music you'll be hearing here today will be from Green Forge Studio. So, for example, I will fire this up just to give them an idea.
As a very brief aside to this, we should 100% talk privately about this.
Told privately about this? What do you mean?
Yes. Well, I could definitely talk to you about legally using that music in this video on use for your channel, because it is super hard to find royalty-free tavern music.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought for a minute you were going, oh God, I'm in big trouble because of this. You're like, oh, no,
Nope.
yes, I got you.
No,
Yes.
I don't. No, absolutely not.
So
No,
this,
I could definitely. I want to sponge some music off you.
No,
If it's-
definitely.
If it's completely fine to use it on your channel, then I want to have a word with you about
it is. We will definitely talk more about that.
How
So
do you
this,
spell desist?
this that you're hearing right now, chat, is the last Lord of Dragonwood. And it's this kind of like beautiful like ambient stuff, and and also the other thing that got me were the titles of these: The Gloom of Fairhaven, The Honey-Tongued Traveler, I Know an Ogre Fair and True. I mean, like, how could you not? The Bravest Heart, The Woodland Fae, The Last Barrel of Mead. It's just, Anyway, it's really good. And another reason that I really like it, this was all recorded with an actual orchestra, not a digital orchestra, but an actual orchestra, a small one, but still an orchestra that actually recorded this music. And so it was great. And so anyway, much love to Green Forge Studios. And if you're interested in the same thing, you should check that out. But yes, I am happy to feature a little bit of Green Forge Studios music on this channel. So as we are listening to this music, and this is a little too sad. I don't want this to be for right now. Let me see. Give me some. What do we got? I think this is Green Forge Tavern. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. So in our last session, chat, the fine crew of Storm King's Thunder D&D with GOG was making their way. That's probably too loud. I apologize. Because I was just too excited about playing it. Okay. The wonderful crew had made their way searching through various cities, including Waterdeep, to try to discover information about where this coin, right there that you see on your screen, had been found. And the reason was this was the only clue that they had as to who might have actually murdered Hecaton's wife, the Queen of the Giants, which set off everyone basically into this incredible frenzy that they had found themselves in. Hecaton himself, of course, the head of the Ordning of the Giants, of the Storm Giants, had been somehow, has been deposed in some way. He has been kidnapped and apparently is now missing. And so that has left the control of the kingdom and the land of the Giants to Sarissa, his daughter. The problem is that Sarissa is not the only one there. There are also several other giant daughters who are not so wild about the fact that Sarissa was the one who ended up getting the prize of managing the kingdom. And in addition to that, the breakdown of Hecaton's rule means that the ordning itself has fallen apart. And so hill giants battle against fire giants, battle against frost giants, battle against storm giants, battle against cloud giants, and you get the idea. And the Storm Coast suffers through all of this because there are way too many giants fighting. Normally, docile, or at least hanging out by themselves, giants are now off and fighting centers of civilization on the Sword Coast. And so the party has been trying to figure out what happened, and they got this clue, had found this clue, and after spending a little bit of time in Maelstrom, the Storm King's fortress, where they spoke to Sarissa, they got this golden coin from Sarissa and then went off to find some details. They did quite a bit of shopping in the city that they went to, and one of the places where they did shopping, and they were gathering things together, axes, armor, various things of this kind. Urash, who has lost his cursed axe, and is trying to figure out how to come to terms with having lost that cursed axe, but has gotten some other magical weapons and items that may tide him over, at least for the short term. But while all this was happening, Greta was dealing with her own problems because, of course, Greta had the sanctuary of Fultus, which she had to rescue, which was in danger of being foreclosed upon by the evil landlords of the city. And fortunately, thanks to well-delivered speeches, a well-delivered sermon, and well-placed rumor-mongering by Urash, River, and a little bit of Selsig, not to mention some incredibly fast counting of gold at the very end of that session by Selsig, the party was able to raise the 3,500 gold pieces that were necessary, handed it over to the landlord, and were branded heroes of Fultus and were branded heroes of saving the sanctuary. Having done all of that, the party was then ready to head out to their next part of their adventure, because during all of this, they had managed to track down a little information which pointed them in direction of the city of Yartar, a place which is well known for being a little bit seedy, S-E-E-D-Y, in reputation, a little bit problematic in terms of some of the things that you might expect. And so the party found themselves... part of the party found themselves, as they were working through all of this, getting ready for what they assumed was going to be some kind of a trap. And at the very end of our last session, the party had gathered all of their things together. I should also mention that Selsig Mar had gathered for himself a new mount known as Fluffball, the mastiff on which the back of which he is able to ride. And so, with Fluffball in tow and ready, the party stepped onto the teleporter to transport to the land of Yartar. As a reminder, the reason that they're going to Yartar to find this coin in the first place is because it is assumed that this coin comes from some gambling establishment. And so, when the party arrives in Yartar, what the party told me last time was that what they wanted to do was to try to track down information about casinos and gambling places that might be found within the city of Yartar. And so, as the party heads off on their way, standing in the teleporter, I am now going to hand things back over to them as they are sucked away and brought to the city of Yartar. And let me bring you over to that right. This place right here. There we go. Right there, in the city of Yartar. And so you have arrived just outside, I should say, the bounds of the city. I don't actually believe you've ever used the teleporter to bring you to Yartar, although correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think you ever went there. I think you knew that it existed, but I don't think you actually ever traveled there. But correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong about that.
I would like
I remember
to
it. We went in from a ruined tower where this was identified to us as the Yartar network.
Yes, that's right.
But we never actually went to the city of Yartar.
That's right. So
It's
the
a
ruined
ruined tower.
Right, that's right. So the ruined tower itself is right, yeah, so I'm, okay, good. I'm not crazy then.
If we looked left instead of right, we'd have seen Yartar.
Yeah, exactly. It's like literally right there. So, so basically as
Wait.
you're able to depart that tower, you are able to see Yartar. Now, let me say also, 1 second, Pyron. Yartar is not, it is a noted place mostly because it is, as you can see at the confluence here. Let me get rid of this red X, or move it anyway. It is at the confluence, as you can see, of these two rivers, really, but the Desserin River, which runs north-south, and then the river which runs into the Lost Peaks and into the High Forest. So Yartar, as a consequence, is kind of in a central location, but it is not enormous. It's not like Neverwinter or Waterdeep or Baldur's Gate or one of these like massive cities. It's much more like, I'm trying to think of what the UK equivalent would be. It's not London, it's like, I don't know, give me like a medium city in England, Mike. Like
Basingstoke.
Okay.
I was going to say Chester.
Or Chester. Basingstoke or Chester. Or I guess in Germany the equivalent would be Pyron, not Berlin, but like maybe Munich. You know, like something like that. Like something which isn't enormous like Berlin is what I would
So we're
say.
talking. It's not a city. It's like a medium town, basically.
Well, yeah, although now I'm thinking maybe I'm undercutting Munich, but you know what I'm saying. But yes, that's the basic idea. It's not as big as the biggest cities, is my point. So yes, you're in this ruined tower, having gotten out on the other side of the teleporter. Munich is enormous? Okay, well then it's not Munich. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying not a huge city. I'm saying like a medium size, like, I don't know. I've only been to Germany once. I don't know.
I don't know, man. Chester's pretty big, so is Basingstoke. So I don't know where you're really going with this.
Okay.
Depends if you count the suburbs or
God damn it.
the former Roman city of Chester.
You started this.
I would say, listen, if you all lived in New York, I would say Albany, and people would know what I'm talking about. Like, it's a city, but it's not like New York. But it's like the zombie
But
part of Utah, right? No,
yeah, there you go.
I'm
It's
just
like
kidding.
Destination 51. There you go in Utah.
There you go.
That little zombie outbreak.
All right, Mannheim. All right, good, fine. Then I'll buy that. There we go.
All right,
So,
cool.
Come on,
so
Jack,
you-
give us your local equivalent.
yeah, I was like, let's spend the next 2 hours talking about this very question. So, you are in now this tower, and you can literally see, as you said, it is ruined. So, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that it was actually below, like on the floor of this tower. And so you had left like a little rope for yourself to be able to climb up out of it. So you would have to do that first, and then you can walk
it's
outside
this
of the
one.
walls.
Yeah,
I believe
it's
that's
that
the same
tower.
one.
It's all coming back now.
This is
Oh,
where,
coming
this is where
back
I
to
found
me.
that bag of coins I pulled out of my bum to pay for my weapons last time.
I remember that. Yeah, I'm wondering. I'm just like, I remember this place. Wasn't there a pony around here somewhere?
I have a
Oh
memory of this
yeah,
place.
isn't there a pony?
Yeah, isn't it?
In theory, there should be 3.
Right?
Where's Sweet Roll? We only care about Sweet Roll. Let's be honest. Like,
No, that's the only one that got named.
Talisman has eaten horse 2 and horse 3.
Talisman swore that he would not do that.
No, he only swore he wouldn't eat
That's
Sweet
plot
Roll.
armor.
He only
That's
swore that he
true.
would eat sweet roll? Okay.
He's very particular about his words.
Yeah,
I promise I will look
the
after Sweet
wording
Roll.
was not eating sweet roll.
I will
That's
definitely
right.
not eat Sweet Roll. As he just tucks the other 2 horses behind him.
I just thought, how am I going to get Fluffball up the rope?
Part of this is because you keep naming them cute names. You know, like sweet roll we won't eat, but cinnamon bun and puff pastry, that's a whole different story.
Cinnamon bun and cheese for tastiest.
Yeah.
Pony Sweet Roll. You named it Sweet Roll.
Yep,
Glazed donut.
I did. I named it Sweet Roll. Sweet Roll the whole. Sweet Roll the pony. That was it. It was like we need something the dragons don't like.
Yeah, you should have
Sweet
named
Roll,
it
there you go.
Bitterroot or something, or vomitorium or something.
Poison. There you go.
I wanted to call it Flower.
That doesn't help. It's like skull and crossbones. You need to name it like metal blood skull, like something that doesn't, you know.
Come over here, metal crossbow.
Metal blood
We
skull.
will now clop along, cloppity cloppity.
Who's a good metal blood skull? You're a good metal blood skull.
You're a good
deserves
metal
an
blood
apple?
skull. I really like how
So
good
anyway,
you
on
are.
the incredibly important subject of Fluffball, I don't mind carrying Fluffball up the rope.
Can you
But
do
does
that?
Fluffball
I don't know. I'll give it a try. It means I can get to cut off Fluffball.
Fluffball, as is usual, by the way, for Fluffball, is just kind of like standing on all fours and kind of, you know, doing his usual, like, regally looking around. Remember, Fluffball doesn't usually react to much, so just
He's like ridiculously majestic.
right at all times. Exactly.
Fluffball is the straight man of our party.
That's true. That's exactly right.
Whew. And now we're up to quota. There we go. One straight party member.
So, what do you folks want to do? Because you're below on that level, and you'll need to get up to the level to even see around you. So,
I'll say, how high can Fluffball jump? Like, how high is the ceiling? How high is this hole?
the hall is the floor is about 10 feet above you. There is a rope that is still hanging down from the edge down to you. So it's about 10 feet above you.
Either we one of us could carry him like a backpack or something, or we tie the rope. Someone goes up, tie the rope around Fluffball, winch up, and then get Fluffball off the rope, and then send the rope back down.
That was my thinking. Might want to check the coast clear first, though.
Alright,
Do
yeah,
dogs
that's it.
do dogs work like cats? Can we not just throw him up?
You can if you want.
He
He's a big
slowly
dog.
turns to face you, Greta.
Even I turn around. I'm like, he's a big pooch. Like he's pretty big.
Probably weighs more than me.
sort of moves his chest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
but
were old
you
enough
can
to
be
throw.
thrown. You can be thrown.
Yeah.
He could throw you out of there. We know that.
He lifts
Like,
his
not-
snout and
not
goes.
easily. Right,
I think we should go with the winch rope thing.
I will
think
go
that's-
and make
grab
sure the
rope
coast
and
is
start
clear.
Climbing.
Yeah, I'm with
Okay.
you.
So
Okay.
Celsig is
So
going
much
up
for
first.
sneaking. Yeah.
Okay.
I
All right.
So I'll
Celsig
start
goes up
climbing.
immediately, followed by Urash. So Celsig, I like to think that you start going up like very like carefully, quietly, and then all of a sudden the rope is like dangling wildly because behind you.
I hate ropes.
So you get up to the top very quickly with it. This does not require a check for either of you. You get up to the top, and what you discover at the top is this tower, of course, as we said, is ruined. There's maybe, I don't know, 2/3 maybe of the wall that's left up top. And as you kind of look around, you do not see or hear any sign of either ponies or Kalismana. Now, admittedly, Kalismana is a dragon and could be flying somewhere, but you do not see either Kalismana or the ponies nearby.
haven't completely forgotten about my pony. I turn my attention to the rope.
Okay.
Oh, clear.
Do we hear anything?
Make a perception check for me. Let's see if you do, Rush.
Okay.
I know that Celsig Saber was wasting his D20, his critical hits like they're going out of style.
I was
so.
trying to test the macros and I needed a crit.
Okay.
14.
14. So you don't really hear anything. There is sort of a little bit of a wind blowing outside the tower, so it's kind of a whoosh type of thing.
Is
But-
there nature noises?
No, not. I mean, well, you might if you listen very carefully, because you arrive here probably about midday, so you might hear a little bit of twittering. It's not sort of like dangerously silent, but there definitely
Okay.
doesn't seem like a lot of stuff around you at the moment. No.
Okay, it's not too loud and it's not too quiet. That's what I like to hear.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, yeah, we'll load the rope back down.
Okay. So you do that, and so River and Greta, you are down there with Fluffball, and the rope has been lowered back down, and Fluffball is, standing as per usual, majestically.
I think we should hoist Fluffball up while we're both still down here in case something goes wrong and we can catch Fluffball.
We need to tie him in, I think. That's what they wanted to do us.
Yeah,
So-
tie him in, right, but then they can hoist him up, and then if he falls out of it or something, then we can grab him
So, but what would be the best way to tie him in?
Oh, God.
with the rope.
Make a harness.
But if we make it, so I take the rope and I approach Fluffball like, yes, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, let's.
The party member who's had least to do with him.
And the Fluffball just regards you silently.
Okay, I'll just try to make like a sling through the front legs and then another sling to the back, and then to weigh him in the middle so that he doesn't tip over. So I'm
Okay. So you as you're doing this, kind of moving around him, of course, and you're not that much taller than he is. He's pretty big. So as you're moving around, he just sort of stands there. The way to describe it would be suffering your presence. He's like, just sort of sits there as you're doing this. And as you sort of attach the last thing underneath his leg, he kind of looks back and then he looks up, and he's looking apparently right at you, Celsig.
I just give him a big thumbs up.
And he lowers his head and yawns again.
You could. I'm doing this for you, Fluffball. Be nice.
I scratch behind Fluffball's ears. Who's the best boy?
So he stands for a minute, and then he ever so slightly tilts his head back, and his eyes slightly close a little bit. Just a bit, though.
I turn to Celsig. I'm like, River's right. That's a true statement. He is the best boy.
He's best boy.
He is, isn't
Right,
he?
don't you? He is. Don't you let him forget that. He is best boy.
Oh, he gets plenty of bacon.
You see River from behind him. His tail slightly moves left and right, just but it's the cool version, right? It's not the
Yeah.
wag. It's just I am pleased with this statement. Wag slightly.
Yeah, right.
She might have scratched your ears, but I did the useful thing with the rope.
So he looks back at you, and then he kind of leans his head in to your face, and he stares at you, and then and does one tongue lick just like this, and then closes his mouth and like looks back the direction like.
Greta freezes for a moment, then he looks upwards towards Celtic and screams, "He loves me!"
Now's the time when the party fights for Fluffball's
Yeah,
affection.
deathmatch. That's it. That's it. Only one of us is leaving this place for Fluffball. All right.
I didn't think buying Fluffball would be the doom of this party, but there you go.
That's what Covet said.
You
If
don't know
Fluffball
us very
dies, I'm
well.
done with this campaign. Like,
That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Fluffball is a character. I mean, I love you all, but Fluffball is the character I will lay down Urash's life for.
exactly.
100%.
Exactly. It's a
We
bunch
have
of
We'll
already
all
lost
die for
one.
Fluffball.
Yep. It's like Detroit Become Human choices where you just save the dog every time.
Yep.
Okay, so now there's two of you up there. So now that he's positioned, I think what you said, River, is that you're going to have Urash and Selsig pull him up, and then you and Greta are going to like be underneath to catch him if he falls. Is that the basic
Yeah,
idea?
well, and if Fluffball is willing, we could like help at the beginning. So like kind of just help hoist him like this.
Okay. I will have Urash and Selsig. I'll have Urash make a strength check. Athletics is fine. Selsig, if you're going to assist, which I assume you are, I'm going to give you a +3 on this check, Urash. So athletics +3. So we're looking at 26 +3, so 29.
29.
Okay, so
I
you
think that-
catapult him out of the hole. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You just see this. Yeah, you just.
But as he's going, he makes no noise. He just dramatically, while still standing, is looking.
Cut away.
He looks disapprovingly at Urash as he
Cut away
passes.
to Neverwinter. In
yeah,
an alleyway
exactly.
somewhere. He just lands.
Next thing you
perfectly.
know, I'll say it's raining dogs and cats. No, that does not happen. But you do pull him up with no problem. He gets up to the top, and then you're able to sort of unbundle him. And when you do this, he sort of, slowly shakes himself, and then he walks over to the edge, and he kind of looks down and impassively looks at Greta and River.
I give him some bacon.
And he like turns his head just enough so you can give him the bacon. Then he's like, as he looks back down.
We love you, Fluffball.
Okay, so and there's the rope back down once. I'm assuming actually I shouldn't assume. You guys are dropping the rope back down to.
Nope, that's it. This is where the party splits.
Okay, right.
Aw.
Welcome everyone, the new player, Fluffball, Selsig, and Urash.
We're off to form a Saturday morning cartoon.
That's it.
Okay, but no,
Scooby Dooby don't.
in actuality, you are in fact dropping the rope down to your party members.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we are.
So
Okay.
again, Greta and River are able to climb this without problem. So it may take you longer or shorter time depending on how much care you want to take, but you're able to get up without too much difficulty. And when you emerge on back up, you can all see what was previously I described as Selsig, which is the tower seems to be deserted. There is just the rope that is hanging over the edge, tied to a stone, which is where you had placed it, hanging over the edge into the hole that leads to the teleporter. And then just sort of these outer walls that are broken about 2/3 of the way up, and there's a door, of course, that leads, which is closed at the moment, leading out of the tower. And outside, you can hear the wind just sort of quietly blowing just a little bit on the walls outside.
I would like to immediately start fussing Fluffball.
Okay. Fluffball accepts. Did you say it again? You do.
Fussing, like
Yeah.
scratching behind
He
his ears.
accepts the fussing.
Yeah,
He
excellent.
accepts it.
You guys pick a direction. I am busy.
Who is the best boy? You're the best boy.
He continues to, take the fluffing and then fussing.
It's
and,
basically it starts off as me just kind of like fussing behind his ears, and then eventually it kind of looks like we've begun to like wrestle and roll over a little bit, but you realize it's just me doing this. Like Fluffball's just kind of stood there looking at me, and
You're
I'm
doing it
just
to yourself?
rolling around. Yeah, no, I'm rolling around Fluffball. I'm just
Okay.
like, you're the best dog. Who's the best dog?
Yeah, somehow Urash is the only one that's on his back rolling around while this is happening, and like you're just in the vicinity around and like petting him, but he doesn't actually roll over with you. He's just
Absolutely no disrespect to Urash, but he seems to have gotten dumber since you got this dog.
Exactly, Coven. This campaign is a dog petting simulator. That is correct. That's right.
And pet
I
the
haven't
dog.
even had sustained any head trauma in a while.
Maybe that's why. Maybe it's what keeps me right. I just slam my head into a few trees on the way out. It's fine.
Indeed. All right, what do you want to do? You were all out on top above the teleporter.
Didn't you have a pony round here somewhere, Greta?
Yeah, maybe it's still here. I guess let's look around. Can your dog search for a pony? Don't dogs do these searchy things?
I know, I bought him to ride on.
Does that like impede his nose?
Let me try to remember. I think they need to know the smell of the thing they're looking for. I can't just say fine pony.
Doesn't he think he has never seen a pony before?
If only, yeah, but have you got anything that belonged to the pony?
No. Oh well. I strut outside and start looking for the pony.
I walk up to Fluffball. Do you smell a pony, boy?
And Fluffball kind of just looks up at you and then looks back down as he's being fussed by Urash. You don't know if that means yes, no, or that he didn't understand you.
He said concentrate and ask again later.
Signs point to
Fluffball is an
maybe.
8-ball from this point onwards.
exactly.
Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic.
Signs point to maybe. So yeah.
I'll go look for pony and maybe for the slightly bigger dragon.
Okay.
Whatever I see first.
When you walk outside, Greta, so when you open the door to go outside of the tower, you can see that, again, it is midday. It's kind of one of those sort of hazy, warm, but windy days, so you can feel the wind and the sort of warmth of the wind blowing into you. And as the warmth is going through the, maybe I should go to the inside of the tower? Okay. Pyron goes to find stuff. As Greta goes to deal with this, meanwhile, what are the three of you doing, Celsic, Goresh, and River?
At the moment, I can't take my eyes off Byron.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's like, is everything okay?
I think just all the water fell down from the skies, like all of it. Like there was like a huge noise of like plosh, and I was like plosh. How can? And it's just like the street is swimming, and I'm like, okay, it wasn't doing that like a minute ago. But
Wow. Funny you mentioned that, because that's exactly what it looks like. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't look like that. I was actually saying that it was warm and windy where you are in the D&D world. And so as you open it, there's this sort of plains, a little bit of grassy plains where you are, gently rolling hills. And then around you can see, not very far from you, within walking distance, would be the larger town, not Munich, of Yartar. But as you're out there, you don't see any sign, or any obvious signs anyway, of ponies. I'd like you to make a perception check for me, please, Greta. This is Greta's reaction as she sees there is no pony, by the way, this music. So you're just like,
It syncs up perfectly.
There's no pony.
Where is my sweet rose?
There's
Where is my horse?
Nay, 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 nay. Okay,
Is
so...
the dragon eating? Was he a
consumed by
main
dead
course?
creatures. So,
All together now.
It's just gone.
Where is my sweet rose? Where is my horse?
oh man. It's just montage. The sweetest roll. Just they all galloping dramatically across the plain. Anyway, none of that is the case.
This is the musical episode, everyone. Just
Exactly.
give you fair warning.
Exactly. Wait till we hit the Hamilton portion of the evening, let me tell you.
Mhm.
So, as you are outside looking around, you don't see or hear anything very obvious, Greta, but the thing is, it doesn't seem to you like normally when you're dealing with a dragon of any size, and when you're dealing with horses, there are tamped down areas, like areas where grass has been smushed down by the weight of creatures, right? But as you look around, you don't see anything obviously like that. You see a lot of waving grass, which is maybe for you about little above knee high, maybe. So it's kind of medium-sized grass, but you don't notice anything that was tamped down or stomped on. You don't see any obvious tracks, either from dragons or from horses. It's as if they were not here, and yet you know they were at some point.
River? Where does Kalasmana usually live?
In the sky. He sparkles in the clouds.
Okay, because last time I think he took us to some kind of hill or kind of, I don't know, some kind of plateau. But
Was it the top of the tower?
Was it the top of the tower? Did he? Was it? It
Think
was
so,
high. I remember
That's what
it
he
being
had said
high.
before. That's right.
Okay, so I take steps back from the tower and I stare up to see if something is up on the tower.
Make a perception check for me, please.
It's a very high tower.
Yeah, it's definitely also a tower. You can confirm absolutely a tower. You've seen
Don't
towers,
knock
and
this
this
one
is
over.
definitely in the category of tower.
Can I follow and also perceive something?
Sure, absolutely you can.
I am
It's
just
definitely
perceiving
a tower.
how much of a good boy Fluffball is.
Yeah, you're even more confident it's a tower than Greta is, actually. But unfortunately, not much else beyond that. And Fluffball appreciates that Fluffball is absolutely a good boy. You can just tell that Fluffball's appreciating that. But no, in all seriousness, you don't. There's nothing obvious. You certainly don't see a dragon or sign of one from where you are. Maybe there would be marks and tracks if you could get up to the top of the tower, maybe, but it's not anything that you can see very obviously. And there are no
I just
ponies up
decide
there
to
either, I
yell.
should say, by the way.
I just yell, Sparkle!
And you hear and your voice is carried away by the wind. Calls! But no response.
Well, that usually works.
I don't think he's up there.
I don't think he's up there. I think he might have gone off to do sparkle things.
Dragon stuff.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Dragons hard to miss. They do tend to draw the attention.
Especially
And
this one, 'cause he's sparkling.
weirdly, we do tend to attract them as well. I'm not quite sure how that works.
Yeah, did anybody just pick up something that belonged to one?
Not me.
Not that I didn't. I gave all of my belongings to the blacksmith for my axe.
Right.
So I'm kind of just
Yeah.
as nature intended right now.
Wait, are you like...
No, I've got most of my loincloth left. It's fine. It's as much as.
Oh, he's 7! Hopefully the important part.
Yeah. As
So we
much as
got, like-
remains has been adventuring for how long has this been going on for now? 2 years, 3 years?
I think 3 probably now.
Yeah. Same loincloth, just
You shop for magical weapons and you didn't get a new loincloth?
Yeah, loincloths don't kill people. Well, actually, no,
Those
this one.
can.
Well, this
This
one
one
is
might.
getting close. This one is
Yeah,
getting
this one
close.
might.
So, woo.
I'm
So-
not gonna
so-
even say
It's a
anything.
lion cloth, you know what I'm saying?
It's a +2 loincloth.
Oh, +2 of what though? Putrid.
Not going. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, nothing that is going to finish with a follow-up is going to end well there. Nothing.
I'm the only one who took a bath. I'm gonna just throw that out there.
It's going to be starting to do miasma damage at some point.
Miasma damage. Anyway, but that's what you see, or don't see.
Yeah.
Wait, or Stinky? Were you Stinky?
Oh yeah, there's a haze. There's definitely a.
Okay, so then
There's
we
a
really
whiff.
need to be concerned about the loincloth.
Yeah,
I'm more
there's a-
concerned about Fluffball being this close.
That's true. Canine nose.
Fluffball seems unperturbed, as usual.
Because he's the goodest boy.
He is
The goodest boy. So saith the party. Fluffball is the goodest boy.
So, I do not want to distract from Ura's loincloth. I totally want to.
I was gonna say I do. I want you to.
Yeah, even I do.
Yeah. Where, if Kalismana is not here, where does he usually go, River?
I don't know. He usually just shows up when he wants to, or when I yell really loud. And I tried yelling really loud, that didn't work. So he must not want to be here. I'm not sure where he goes.
He must
I
go.
wasn't shouting really loud. I just have a look around, just in case anybody who's not Kalismana related might have heard us.
Perception check, please.
Okay.
There's a lot of perception checks going on.
22.
So there's nothing right next to you, for sure, Selsig. There does feel to you like there's something strange about. I guess that what I would say is that the feeling is almost like a feeling of being watched, but I hate to use that cliche. There's nothing around you that would obviously conceal any eyes. You don't see any. There's not like cloud cover or anything like that. But it definitely feels to you a little strange in terms of just the general looking around you. Feels a little weird, is what I would say. But you don't see anything that's obvious that you could point to and say, that right over there is looking at us.
Almost like a hair's on the back of your neck.
Yes, that's exactly
kind of feeling.
That's exactly right.
Something's odd. I can't put my finger on it.
Like here or
It's not. I don't want to say like we're being watched, but I feel like something's not the same as last time we were here. Now, granted, that was 2 years ago, and there was also a dragon and a pony.
wasn't there last time wasn't there a lovesick lady here last time?
Oh yeah, where'd she go?
That's right, the hill giant.
Oh
She
yeah.
was crying in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is true.
Not here now.
Not here now.
So
Been-
we're
been a
missing
little
a hill.
while.
When we told her to go somewhere, I remember that because
Yes,
we
you
could
did.
convince her that staying here would not improve things for her.
Did I hear...
Have a look around, because I feel like even after the amount of time we've been away, the path of a hill giant probably takes a long time to disappear.
I was
Right.
actually
Or a
wondering how long
dragon,
would that
yeah.
take?
Well, a dragon can fly. A hill giant sort of walks in a straight line, and where it walks stays walked on.
Yeah,
Right.
no
Right.
lie.
That's right. Although, to a degree, Selsig, although the grass certainly would probably grow back in relatively, short order upon this thing. But yes, because you actually had convinced her. She was complaining about basically her cheating husband, and you had basically said you need to go back and, get him back and kick the ass of the other person. And, it was one of those like heartfelt conversations which seemed to work. And so you did know that she had said she was going to depart, and it was after that you went down and found the teleporter and all that kind of stuff.
Yes. I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
Quick question. So
Sure, Susan.
I'm presumably overhearing this now that Celtic's saying, like, he feels like something's not
Right.
quite right.
Right.
Could I use my survival skill to have a look, see if there's any unusual tracks around, or
Yes.
anywhere
Absolutely
where
you could.
like, a hill giant or anything like that may have trodden recently? And
Absolutely.
recently being quite subjective.
Absolutely. Go ahead and make your survival check.
That'll be a 21.
21.
It's something I'm good at and I've never used.
Right. Well, it's a good time to use it because although you don't find any obvious signs of dragons, you do find what look like 3 sets of horse tracks, basically 3 sets of horses' hooves tracks that are heading directly in the direction of Yartar. They look as if they were not running or galloping, but they were definitely moving in that direction at a leisurely pace, as far as you can tell. And the reason that this
Horses, not ponies.
right.
Right, okay. Sorry, carry on.
No, wait. No, ponies. Definitely the size of your pony's tracks.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry, yeah, no, I don't want to confuse. No, ponies.
Okay. So,
Them buggers pinched them.
well, there's definitely, I point to the tracks and I say, well, there's definitely pony tracks here. Like here, and here, there's 3 different pony tracks going in slightly different directions, but all going towards I think, is Yatar that way? Like, I think Yatar's that way.
Right. and
Can we
you're
see
pointing at
Yatar
your-
from this point?
Yes, you can. Yep, you can
Yeah,
actually
so
see
they're
it in
going-
the far in walking distance, but I mean it's
Yeah.
going to be a little while, but yeah.
So there's definitely ponies that way.
Well, that makes sense. If Kalasmana actually has to go and decided to do something useful for once, he might have decided to board the ponies in Yatar.
And that's true. Yeah. So, did you say that something didn't feel quite right? Like you felt like you were being
It's
watched?
like, have you ever been in a room by yourself?
Yes, I have.
You feel like you're not by yourself.
Well,
but-
Foltus is always with me.
That could get a bit awkward. Okay, have you ever felt like someone besides Foltest is there?
So it's that feeling you get just before you say step on a trap or you hit a tripwire or something like that. You know you've done it.
I'm sure I don't know anything about that.
And but I'm speaking like out of character for a second because I've got danger sense. This is what I'm attributing that to. It's like, oh, that moment where you're like, something bad might happen right now, but I'm not sure what it is.
It's not bad, just off. If you know what I mean, it's not like a sense of dread.
So I trust your opinion on this. How worried are you about this? Because what we could do is if we were to find a, let's say, small winged animal, I could use beast sense to commune with that animal and have a scout around the area.
Wait, what?
I mean,
It's weird.
it's hard. I don't feel like we're in danger. It's just something's off. It's more of an instinct than something I've seen.
But
Just
I mean,
something out of place. You know, like when you look at a wall and you just know something's not right. So you start poking bricks, and it turns out one was a hidden switch.
I don't know. Sometimes I just get really angry with the wall. So
Different horses for different
So-
causes.
100% deadpan. I just tend to grow and go. I can speak with animals.
is that what you were doing with Fluffball?
No,
Why not?
because Fluffball already knows he's a good boy. We all
Okay.
tell him. We all tell him he's a good boy.
A quick look at Fluffball's face confirms that he is fully aware of the fact that he is in fact a good boy. He definitely understands the reality.
He's got a
of
homemade
being a
badge
good
from
boy.
Urash now. It's like the goodest boy. BOI.
Yes.
So, but if there was a fight or something and somebody stole our ponies from Kalasmana, I mean, if you fight a dragon, there would be some kind of traces of a fight here, right?
I don't see traces of a fight. I just see traces of 3 horses and 3 ponies. And that's the amount of ponies we left going towards Yatar. So, and we're already going towards Yatar. So,
Yeah.
we're probably going to find the ponies there.
Well, then let's go towards Yata.
But again, Selsig, if you're worried about this, we can spend 10, 20 minutes. I mean, it's a ritual. I'll need to gather a few bits and pieces, but I can
I mean,
100% do something.
It wouldn't hurt if it doesn't leave you weakened. I mean,
No,
it could
not
be
at all.
something as simple as we left ponies here and now there's no ponies. It
Yeah,
could
possibly.
be something as simple as that.
When we revisit places, it's always a little bit different. Either something's fallen down or something's been built or, there's not as much chaos as there was when we were
Usually,
there
if we've been there, something's fallen down.
Yeah, no more, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to need people's help then. I basically list off a series of like nearby plants, and I'll also need a willing winged creature. I'm not going to hurt the creature, don't worry. Just like if you can coax a bird, and I'm kind of looking at River here. I don't know why, but like if you can like put your hand out with some food on it or something, and a bird will come to you, then that's a willing creature.
I can see this ending with I had a bird, but I ate it.
I thought I saw a putty cat.
Maybe what you're feeling is just Kalasmana not being here anymore. Maybe an area is different if it's like under the surveillance of a dragon.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have
Possible.
that sense of urgency like that moment when you feel a stone shift under your foot.
But well, I don't feel it at the minute. So, but you're kind of if there's trouble ahead, you're
Yeah.
the person I'd rather have in front of me to tell me where something's going to fall over or something's going to get damaged. Like, do you know what I mean? You have much better eyes than we do. Although, you know, my trap finding skills is pretty on point. Just stamping my foot in front of me and going clear.
We've had mixed results with both methods. That is true.
Indeed.
So come on, River. We try to attract. What was it? A medium-sized bird or something?
Just a
Bird.
bird. Just a bird.
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 Bird. Yeah.
Bird.
Okay,
Bird.
Okay.
so you're gonna go try to trap a bird, as I understand it.
No, we're not
Hang on.
trapping.
Friendly
If
bird.
if we trap it, it's not willing anymore.
Yeah, it needs to be a willing creature.
Bird.
Okay, let me think.
Ooh.
There are not a lot of birds that are visible.
What about bats? He said winged. He wasn't particular.
Winged, yeah,
They
winged.
didn't specify.
winged.
That's
No,
true.
winged creature.
For
That's
bats, you would
fine.
have to wait
Actually,
until the evening, or
technically any
go find
creature.
a cave
I
or a
just
barn.
thought winged creature because it could do a couple of circles and
Was
have a
it-
quick look for us.
Right.
Oh, so yeah, I guess bats wouldn't want to go out. I was gonna say, were there any bats and or birds in the tower? Because the tower was kind of derelict.
That's true. There were no bats. You didn't see any birds when you were there. And actually, as you're looking around, you notice that there are a couple of sort of calls of birds that you can hear from a distance. You hear a couple of cries, and you can see up that there's maybe like a hawk that seems to be way up in the air, kind of circling around on the wind currents and so forth. But there's not a lot of birds immediately where you are, and it occurs to you that may have something to do with birds may not want to hang out in a dragon's usual, like, living zone, you know, and may have something to do with it. So there are not a lot of birds right here. You could walk sort of closer to one. It would maybe take you a little while, like 15, 20 minutes of walking to kind of get closer to where you see this hawk circling around. But there's not a lot of birds that are in the general vicinity. Also, there's not many trees. Like, this is, as I said, mostly grass and hills with just a couple of things. That's why it's so easy to see the city and this tower, because this tower is like almost off by itself, basically.
How far away is Yato?
Probably about, you would guess, 45 minutes walk, half an hour maybe.
Okay, so it's going to be halfway. We're going to be halfway there by the time we actually get to an area where there's wildlife.
Theoretically.
Is there a point? Unless we think that Yatar is like under siege or something like that, at which point we'll probably know by the time we get 20 minutes walk away.
I think we might just go towards Yatar because
Yeah.
attracting a hawk might be difficult. I don't think they eat bread, and I don't think we can just throw a mouse at him or something.
If it were like a day's walk, then I'd say yeah, definitely we'll do a bit of scouting first. But otherwise, I mean, it's something to bear in mind as well. So if we need that kind of, if we're in this situation again, then you know, I can speak with animals, so it can be useful.
Yeah,
Right,
you could get quiz the horses later.
Yeah.
So, Pony, how was it?
How you been the last couple of years?
So
I asked him some questions. He said no.
Outstanding.
There it is.
Working on my
You gotta
first joke
rein
book.
in your best impulses, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They were shaky at first, but now they're really stable.
I don't think you need to saddle us with these. Like, there's no reason for this kind of. It's just gonna spur us on to even worse jokes.
Mike is the glue that holds us together.
Oh man,
Ooh.
That joke gave me a long face.
I'm not gonna put up with this kind of crop.
We need to tackle this head on.
Hey.
You're just trying to stir up trouble, man. That's what you're doing.
somebody in chat says we are silent.
Sorry.
What?
That's all right. Quadralian's saying he can hear sound.
Oh, I think
Oh,
we should
cool.
be okay.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I'm glad.
just
I
missed
don't
some of
wanna
the
have to
best
roast
jokes.
all that material.
Like-
material.
Twitch is like, we've decided to enter a new preemptive pun muting. Like, is it what? God damn it. Yeah.
I think
Oh, that's
we
it.
can,
You just kill Orochi, now I'm out.
but I think we can now stop beating this dead horse and move towards Yatar.
Oh,
There we go.
hey.
He should be heading for the main event.
Whinnying.
Hey,
I was
now.
gonna say that. Dang it!
Oh, can't see why you'd want to do that, but all right. So let's
Off we trot.
try. I was waiting for the trot. Yes. All right. Outstanding. We've done it. Oh man.
It
Really spit the
behooves
bit
me
on
to
this
do
segment.
It
All right.
behooves you.
Woo! All right. I think we've got them all now. Well, all of us are stopped silent, trying to think of frantically, like, what other horse
Yeah.
jokes?
Think, brain.
There's nothing else. Okay. So they're not
See you
terrible,
outside.
Esther. Esther, if we took a Gallup poll, we'd be able to tell exactly how good
If they
these
were
puns were.
back, you could just shoo us the door.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, perfect. So I think that actually, I have no idea what happened. Now I've completely forgot what we were doing.
Oh, we're doing it again.
You were heading to Yartar, I believe. So you're headed to Yartar. Are you on the lookout as you're doing this to find anything else, or are you just pretty much heading straight there?
I've
No,
gone up to
following the-
Fluffball. I've sort of pointed the tracks and gone, can you follow those?
Okay, so Fluffball walks over and then slowly, regally lowers his head. He doesn't do the... He does the... Like, does the long, snort. And then looks up and walks, like, straight a line down the tracks and then stops and looks back at all of you.
Think he knows the way.
I think we
seems to
follow
work.
football.
I mount up.
Okay, so you get on his back dramatically and proceed down the tracks towards, oh my god, Coven, that's crazy, towards Yartar. Couple of notes to keep in mind here about Yartar as we get closer. So as I mentioned, Yartar is not a huge city, kind of a medium-sized place. But one of the things that's important about Yartar as you're sort of heading to it is that Yartar is indeed a place where there is a wide disparity of income. That is to say, you'll have very poor people and very rich people in the same areas. And the rich areas tend to be concentrated around the docks because they do a very busy trading business, both up and down the river, east and west, north and south. They also do a lot of logging in Yartar, so people will go over to the high forest, gather a lot of wood, and then they'll head directly west to Yartar because, if you look at your handy-dandy map, you'll see that the Desserin River runs all the way to right near Waterdeep. So Waterdeep, obviously, like most big cities, has a need for wood, and so when you bring the wood over from the high forest, then you can head down the Desserin River and then drop it right off at Waterdeep. And so there's a pretty busy trading kind of feel around that town, and therefore it's a port city, basically, and therefore a lot of the richness revolves around the wealth of the docks and places like that. Other than that, though, I guess I'm going to ask you folks, have you ever been to Yartar previous to this campaign? Have your travels ever brought any occasion for you to go to Yartar? I'm asking all of you this time instead of me just saying.
Yeah.
No, Celtic's been more of a big city boy. Easier to hide.
Okay,
I
Greta,
lived
you-
in a
Those
rock
guys.
in the forest.
and Greta, have you ever been there?
I don't think so, no. I'm usually more about, like, in the mountains, the dwarven cities,
I figured.
places like that.
Okay. So as you get close, not knowing exactly what to expect, you can see that there is a kind of low sort of wall that surrounds it, and it's actually set between, so there's these rolling hills, as you can see, and then as you get past the edge of the rolling hills, it's actually set down slightly, and the rivers run basically into it. So you can see that there are two major rivers, the one from the east that's flowing into the eastern side of Yartar, and then there is a river that you can see from your vantage point as you approach that goes to the northern wall of Yartar and comes out again on the southern wall. So Yartar's literally built on top of this river that runs to the north-south. And as you get close, you can hear that there is a fair bit of bustle about. And I'm going to add a little bit to this beautiful music that we've been hearing. I'm going to add a little bit of city bustle.
It's really nice music, by the way.
Isn't it really? It's, yeah. I'm super, super happy with it.
It's evocative of some of the stuff out like Witcher 3. In my
Yes,
mind.
yes,
It
yes,
is, isn't it?
absolutely. Yep. I could totally see that. Let's see. How about, give me that. Oh, no, you're not going to make me do it. All right. I'm going to have to reload this very quickly. So bear with me for just a moment so I can get that soundscape. Okay, one moment. All right. Now I'm going to keep playing. Make sure if I got music. All right, we already heard that. There we go. All right. Now let's see. Yes. And some volume. There we go. Lovely. So you can hear there's this kind of bustling about. You can see a lot of carts that are rolling in. There's basically a road that runs north-south right near the river that passes into Yartar. In some cases, it looks like almost right next to it. And so you can see that there are carts moving in and out of that place as well. And as you get close, you can also see down there that these gates are all guarded. And as you walk closer, you can see that the guards who are looking at people that are passing in and out, one of them takes notice of you and raises his mailed hand. They're wearing mostly chainmail, but he has a halberd, and he looks to be, you know, fairly worthy as a warrior. Definitely doesn't look like just some kind of, you know, peasant or irregular or something. And he says, right, halt. Name and destination in Yartar.
Like our name?
Him, he says.
Hi, I'm River. What's your name?
I'll be asking the questions, miss.
That's a long name.
I'm glad that your name's River, but what's your destination here in Yartar?
That way.
And he kind of looks back. He says, I need a specific place, miss.
Hi, I'm Greta Goldenfire, Dwarven Cleric of Voltus, and we just have arrived. We've never been to Yata before, so we cannot name a place. Can you recommend one?
Well, that would depend on what you're looking for. Are you in the mood for some trading, or some food, or perhaps the, well, and he kind of looks around, less than legal activities?
Food.
Less than legal food?
No, it's food. It's not. If they have illegal food, we do not want it.
Oh. Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not do illegal. Just food.
Preferably legal.
He says, all right, well, the best food that you're going to find is going to be right in the outer area of the docks. Some of the best seafood you'll find. Fresh trout, other fish caught right from the river here. Right from the Desserin. And he kind of points to the north-south. It's delicious. In fact, he lowers his voice. If you go to the one that I'll tell you about, known as the Fresh Fish, you just tell them that Marlis sent you, and you might get a discount. My brother runs the place, he does, and he's just opened it, so we're trying to build up the business, you know. And you can see that the other guard is kind of looking over in his direction now. He's like, anyway, it's a entry fee. Everyone has to pay 1 silver piece per person, please.
Oh, wow.
Does that seem on the up and up?
It seems a little pricey, but it's not unheard of. But it is one way that a city that does most of its business in trade probably gets used to doing everything by trade, entry fees and exterior fees. Because, as you might expect, Selsig, these things also, trade cities attract less reputable types to take advantage of the trade that is being done.
The illegal food merchants.
Yes.
Is there a group discount?
And he sort of looks you up and down. He says, no, it's 1 silver per, and that means 1 silver for each of you, I'm afraid.
I reach into my money belt and pull out 4 silver. And an extra one and go, that's for the tip.
And he nods and says, well, thank you, sir. I see you'll get along just fine in Yartar. If you have a chance, like I say, visit my brother's place and tell him I sent you. A fresh fish again, don't forget. And he steps back and says, on your way. And so the gates were already open, but the guards are in front of them, and so you may now pass into Yartar if you wish. Once you pass in there, the question is, where are you going to go? I do not have an interior map of Yartar, unfortunately, but but this is, considerably, given where you just were, the cities you've been in, this is not that difficult to navigate. There are a couple of sections. There's sort of a upper scale, what seems like maybe the governmental district, essentially, which is right near, even overlapping with the docks. There is an area where sort of what you would think of as like the slums, probably, where a lot of the people that are poor and can't afford the nicer areas are, and that also overlaps with the docks. And it becomes clear to you pretty soon that like everything overlaps with the docks. The docks area seems to be by far the biggest area in the city.
It seems to me pretty much anything of any value passes through the docks. So if you want to know anything about what's going on in the city, it seems to me that everyone's got a hand in the docks.
But can Fluffball just follow the tracks of our pony still?
I look at Fluffball and go, do you smell them?
Fluffball at this point, Fluffball's been looking around sort of slowly at all of the people, the horses, the cows, the chickens, the goats that are like passing by. And as close as Fluffball ever looks to looking troubled, he sort of looks up and kind of looks at you and as if to be like, I don't know where the hell they are. Like, I mean, like, kind of just sort of looks up at you and is, as I say, seems rather disappointed in himself, maybe.
I look up and say, very doubtful.
I look at Fluffball. You're still the best boy. So...
Fluffball sort of looks at you, and maybe it's just your imagination, but it seems like he stands a little taller, maybe. Just a bit.
Yeah, I give him a pat. You did good, boy.
So, I mean...
I think we should go to the fish place and ask the fish keeper of the fish. We should eat.
It's as good a start as any.
Yeah, I mean, there will be like several places in this town where horses could be boarded. There's no... And if Kalasmana... I mean, Kalasmana wouldn't walk into town as a dragon, would he? He would? I don't know.
I'd like to think not. Unless he was really after a discount.
The dragon discount.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I imagine if the townsfolk had seen a dragon recently, that there would be just a little bit more terror on the streets.
Yeah, they seem very occupied with mercantile things, not so much terror at seeing dragons.
Oh well. Then we go to the fresh fish, I guess.
Fresh fish with Fishman.
So you make your way through to the docks, and after a couple of carefully placed questions, you discover the fresh fish. And there are a lot of, in the docks area, which is very, kind of really almost sprawling, and there are like boats and river boats in particular just running up and down, and the docks are built right out into the river, so there's like boats along every side. And there are many taverns and inns and all kinds of places, and you have to go a long way, almost to like the northern side of the docks, basically, until you get to where the places are kind of smaller and whatever. And then you find this one place with a very clearly newly painted sign, which looks like it was hand painted, if you follow what I mean, of a fish leaping out of the water. At least you hope it's a fish. It's could also be someone's fist hitting the sign, but you think it's likely to be a fish. That's probably what it is. And underneath you see a sign in which is proudly declared in lettering that is still not worn, "The Fresh Fish, Proprietor Arliss." And you can see the sign is just hanging by the front door of this place.
Oh, that picture brings back memories. Not sure if either of you were there for that. Can't actually remember who was there with the flying fish incident.
I'm just like,
Oh yeah,
I
the
don't.
flying fish! I forgot
Smacked
about
in the
that.
face
I think
by
it
the
was
bridge.
just you and me.
Oh,
Yep. The Fresh
All right.
Fish of Bel Air. Oh. Now here's in West Philadelphia, born and raised. All right, so okay, so you make your way into this place, and you notice immediately that it is small. There are probably 4 tables in the entire place, from what you can tell. in a small room, which looks very new and, that sort of thing. And there is, as you walk in, one sort of surly-looking dwarf, maybe, that is sitting at one of the back tables with a plate of half-eaten food and is kind of mournfully looking down at the food. Not like he hates it, just seems to be just mournful in general, with a mug of some substance by him. And the other 3 tables are empty, and as you walk in, a man with an impressive-looking handlebar mustache, who looks very much like the guard that you met at the gate, except this one has a handlebar mustache, walks up and bustles up. He's got the big apron, pretty new, like not very messed up, and everything. And he walks up to you and, yes, it's good to see y'all. Welcome to Arliss's Tavern, the Fresh Fish. What can I provide for you? We got plenty of empty tables and seats, and we can help you out with whatever you need.
Hi, Arliss. Marliss sent us.
Marliss, my brother. He's always doing me a good turn. He's a good fellow, he is. A little too focused on his duty. Doesn't have a chance to rest. That's why I wanted to be the good humor of the family, you might understand. And he kind of twirls the handlebar mustache.
Yeah, the good humor of the family.
And he nods, and he says, yes, well, anyone who's sent by my brother, that means you get today's 10% discount. And I'll also get a free seafood soup. And that's not to be missed, let me tell you.
Yeah, then...
It has to be seen to be believed?
And he immediately nods and he says, I don't know what you mean, but I think you'll probably be in the right spot. You have no idea how much I had...
starting to get fishy.
Listen, on the scale of one to another, there was no... Okay.
I love trout.
Oh, man. I immediately, just all of a sudden in my head, I just started thinking of my favorite fish, salmon, and then I was like, what goes with salmon? Think of salmon! Think of salmon! Anyway. And I just
Hang on, let's
clammed
see if
up.
Google
instead.
has salmon puns.
Instead, I just clammed up. So, you head over to a table and sit down. Actually, well, I don't know. Do you? I shouldn't say that. Do you head over a table or no?
No, we'll ask him to lead us to a table.
Okay, well, he brings you over and sets you down at a new table. You can tell that the table, does look very new, although as you sit down, I would like everyone who's sitting down to make a perception check for me, please.
Okey-dokey.
I perceive that is a table, and it might smell of fish.
Definitely a
Is it clean? Is it clean?
Is it clean?
I
Is it a clean
perceive
table?
it's probably.
If it's not clean, I'm licking it.
Yeah, Warash is not entirely sure it's a table. Celsig knows it's a table. Celsig,
I'm not sure how we got here. So.
Celsig seems like it's like very, very new. Greta, as you were looking at it, you kind of notice it seems like a wooden table, and you sit down and then you accidentally push on the top of the table and it kind of wobbles a bit, and you sort of look at it and then you kind of do the, you knock, and you realize that this is actually made of faux wood. Like in the real world, imagine IKEA brand wood. You know what I'm saying? Like it's sort of not quite. Yeah, it's not real wood. I mean, it looks fine as long as you don't look too carefully. And Arliss notices you looking. Is like, yes, well, brand new tables and furniture. Anyway, what can I get for you? Let me start you with some drinks, perhaps some appetizers. We have got some oysters on the half shell. We've got some mussels. We like to say that everyone who comes in here enters a weakling and leaves muscle bound. And he kind of twirls his other part of his handlebar mustache.
Oh, that seems very reasonable. Do you sometimes have, bar fights here?
Oh, no, we don't allow any of that riffraff, miss. It's all up and up here. It's very important that we run this as a completely legal enterprise with no problems whatsoever. And he twirls both handlebars.
Yes.
I don't know. Someone seems a bit fishy about that.
Mm-hmm, a little fishy.
I think that's a very good
I'm tuning this out.
attitude. I would actually like to try the soup that you were talking about earlier.
I managed to hook you on that, did I? And he smiles and he says, all right, one seafood soup coming right up. And for the rest of you, would you like perhaps a loaf of bread for the table? Okay.
Like bread and or ale.
Ah,
Those two.
and so he as he hears the ale, he says, "Ah, yes, I got some of the finest vintage. We've got the Drowned Sailor, we've got the Lost Mermaid, and of course the most famous one, unique to my particular tavern here, and we call it the Fresh Fish Special."
With
I think
special.
we've met all of them.
But why
I
is
think,
it
I
special?
think we fought all of them, to be honest with you.
Why is it special?
I'll find out. I'll have a fresh fish special.
2 fresh
Turn-
fish specials.
I just turn around to Celsi. I'm like, that's hard to say. That's going to get harder to say the more I drink.
Very good. I'll be right back with that. And so he heads off, and then he bustles back in a few minutes with carrying a tray, and on it is a loaf of bread. And he puts the loaf of bread down. It seems to have this nice kind of like wheat, look to it on the outside. And then he puts down 3 mugs of this ale, the fresh, and he says, "Fresh fish special for all of you. And of course, I hope you enjoy. I'll be back in just a minute to take your order." And he nods and walks off to attend to the only other customer, the mournful dwarf.
I give it the obligatory smell to savor the bouquet, or possibly gag, depending on what we're getting.
So the ale smell. Oh, and the soup also. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that he also brought the soup. So the ale smells a lot like the soup. I mean,
I
very
anticipated this.
fishy. The smell
So
of the sea.
I take like the first inch or so off of the ale when I drink it. Like, is it ale? Is it just soup?
I take a swig.
So, yeah. I'm trying to think of a description that would fit here. If you were to put Manhattan clam chowder, you may not even know what that is. So, do you know what clam chowder is? Is there clam chowder? That's okay.
Is it like a creamy soup?
I don't.
Yes. So there's two kinds of clam chowder. New England clam chowder is very famous in like Maine, for example, and it's usually creamy, and it's usually cream based, and it has usually clams and oysters in it, and it's kind of a thick sort of soup, right? The other kind is known as Manhattan clam chowder, which also has little bits of clam, but it's a thin soup, like with a tomato base. So it's almost like eating like a vegetable soup, except with the sort of clams in there. So Manhattan clam chowder is a little bit different.
Google image search. Don't fail
This
me
tastes
now.
more like if you combined Manhattan clam chowder with a Guinness, that's what you would get. It's like
So what
Guinness
I would really like to
fish
know.
soup.
Am I
oil.
picking fish bones out of my teeth at this point?
No, but it does taste like it's straight out of the fish pot.
Right, got it. I mean,
Unexpectedly chewy.
I'm just like, well, I've eaten worse and I've drunk better, but together I'm not 100% certain on this one. Although I have drunk half of it already, so
I have paid more for worse.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad. It's just literally combining those
Very
two not
different.
very
I just go to sales and I was like, it's not very ale-y, is it? It's more a bit, well, it's more like soup.
Yeah.
So, like, the soup and the drink is the same?
No, the drink smelled like the fish soup. Have you tried the fish soup yet?
No, but I'll carefully dip in some of the bread and try
Okay.
it.
So when you take this soup tastes very strongly like some kind of like straight vodka with maybe a hint of clam in it. So yeah, just a touch.
Okay.
Kind of watery too.
Huh. Well, that is interesting, guys. all the alcohol that's missing from the ale is in the soup.
I look at the bowl.
And the guy comes over right at this point. Well, masters and mistresses, how are you all doing? I hope you're enjoying your soup. And he points to the ale and your ale, and he points to the soup. I hope you're enjoying them both.
It's very interesting. We've not been to this part and have not partaken in this cuisine yet. Very interesting.
Good, good. I'm glad you find it interesting. So, for your entree, what can I offer you? We have several fine foods, both from the rivers and the oceans. We've already talked about the trout, but there's other fish to be had. For example, swordfish. And, of course, dark manta ray meat. Very difficult to find dark manta ray. Has to be specially sourced and brought up the river and served within a week of its killing, or it'll blow up and cause great damage to anyone who's still alive. Of course, that only happens if you don't eat it first. We have some which has been here, I believe, 6 days, so I think you got another day on you, so you should be fine. You've got that, and the trout, the manta ray, and then some others of the basics. We have spiny fish, and then there's also, well, I don't really much hold with it myself, but they call it swashi. It's, well, it's raw fish. I don't understand why you'd want to eat raw fish, but some people love this swashi, and they're guaranteed to, bring any kind of money for it. So we could give you some of that manta ray without it being cooked, and you got your swashi. So, swashi, trout, spiny fish, dark manta ray. What's your pleasure?
Just out of curiosity, what happens if you don't sell that dark manta ray in the next day?
That's easy enough. I got some people who want to use it for explosives. And he smiles.
Yeah, don't know what answer I was expecting.
Sounds
Thought
legit.
had crossed my mind.
Sounds legit.
He twirls his handlebar.
Although I do prefer my explosions a bit more controlled.
And less goopy.
He nods and he says, well, yes, but this has got another benefit, you see. This thing will explode even underwater. Well, if you can imagine what would happen if you were just trying to, for example, get into a place. Why, just imagine that time I mean, I've heard before, you understand.
How
things.
interesting. Go on.
Yes, well,
Give me a big
your order,
smile.
please, Master.
I can see that. It must be. I mean, this is actually really nice if you want to, for example, rescue somebody from a sunken ship and they're like still inside. You could like blow a hole into it underwater to rescue them.
Don't you have to wait 7 days?
Well, you could like have it on storage. Maybe you can. After the 7 days, does it like automatically explode, or can you like dry it and keep it or something?
Well, they say that if you break it up into small enough parts, the explosion's small enough that you wouldn't really notice it. In fact, you can make it so fine that it just feels more like itching powder. But I've never used it for anything like that. It's always about the explosive. I mean, about the food quality is what I would use it for, of course.
Yeah,
He
I take
twirls
the
both
trout.
handlebars.
I take the trout. I mean, if we're near a river, let's take a river fish.
Delicious.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
I'm for the trout.
My stomach makes an unhappy noise after that ale.
And he says, very well, the trout it is, sir.
Master
ma'am.
Alice.
Yes.
As you know, as you can see, we're like new to town, and we are actually looking for a friend of ours who was boarding our ponies for us here. Is there like several places where would people usually board horses?
Oh, that's normally near the gates, miss, both north and south. We've got stables, actually east too, now that I think of it, which is in the eastern side of town, leading towards the river off towards the high wood. We usually have high forest. We have 3 of them. 3 stables, north, east, and south.
Okay, thank you.
And he nods and turns and heads off. The mournful dwarf, by this point, has finished his food and is sort of slumped back, kind of looking up as the just sort of quietly looking at the ceiling.
He looks like he tried the ale.
Or the soup.
Looks like he's had more than one.
And so yes, Kilgore trout. So you're gonna. I just want to be clear. You're having Kilgore trout. Yes.
Yep. 3 Kilgore trouts.
3 Kilgore trouts. So, You are there for a few minutes, probably about, I would say, 15, 20 minutes. Are you doing anything during this 15, 20 minutes, I should ask, while you're waiting for your food?
I would like to look over at Dwarf.
Okay.
Just like, are they doing anything specific? What are they wearing? How are they armed? What's their age? That sort of thing.
Seems to be has a long reddish beard. Does not seem to be armed, at least not obviously so. Has what looks like some kind of a leather tunic, but it's heavily, like worn and cut into, especially over the shoulders. You notice that there seems to be a lot of wear marks over the shoulders on both sides. And you can also note that instead of a belt, the dwarf has got a rope wrapped around his middle.
And they're just sat like you are at the moment, just kind of staring at the ceiling. Roughly how far away is this dwarf?
It's not a big place, probably 15 feet maybe.
So it's talking distance rather than shouting distance.
Oh, sure.
Okay. I'll lean over and I'll say to the dwarf, you didn't try the ale as well, did you?
You mean the ale or the soup?
He says.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that one. The chewable ale. What's a good ale in this place? That I don't have to chew.
It doesn't matter so long as it does what it needs to. And with a few more, I won't need to worry about what it is. Just bring more of the drink.
And you note for the first time, Urash, that his mug that he has looks as weathered and worn as the area of his shoulders. Like, the mug looks like it's been to the wars, by which I mean it's been used a lot. These mugs. This mug.
We've seen a few dark days then, friend.
A few. My life's been one dark day after another. You don't know what it's like, let me tell you, to be me.
I have some time to kill. How about I buy you a drink? We'll find out.
That's right, the way I like to see it, yes. You can buy me a drink, stranger. Yeah, orc, half-orc, what's your name? Orc?
Urash.
Rash is a weird name. Rash?
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Alright, well, Rash, I'll take your offer kindly. Arliss, you buffoon! Bring me another one of the stuff that isn't crap. Never mind, it's all crap. Just bring more alcohol. He's paying.
I motion to her, I'm just like, that's 2.
And Arliss sort of nods and bustles over, all smiles with actually carrying with him a cask, and fills the mug on the ground on the table, the well-worn one. And the dwarf says,
I only drink from that mug. It's my frequent use mug. Every 100 drinks, I get another drink. If I remember, I think I'm up to 7,500 now, maybe.
You've had that mug a while then? Or is that just today?
I got this from my grandfather. And he got it from his grandfather. And he got it from the bottom of some pile of people that were in a bar fight. He took it home and cleaned it for his very own. This is my heirloom mug. To mugs and crappy ale.
So I hold my mug out like, to heirlooms and memories.
and
he sort of looks up. It's hair and memes. Yes, memes. Hair and memes. Yes, Rash. Yes.
And he sort of drinks and then goes back to.
So, tell me, I can't keep calling you friend.
Do you know the last time I saw an orc?
No, I don't.
It was not long ago, actually. I saw one 5 minutes ago. Oh, that was you.
And he kind of leans back.
After a few more of these ales, I'm going to be seeing multiple dwarves, I can tell you that much.
I wish you could. There's not enough in this godforsaken, boating, fish-stinking town. That's right, I said it. Who wants to cause problems? And he looks around the completely empty, except for you and the, and Arliss room, and that's what I thought.
Seeing your Fluffball knows how to shake.
He says, they don't allow horses in here.
It's a very small horse. It's absolutely fun.
He looks at it, and Fluffball, of course, has been.
And he says, all right, well, I guess you're a small horse dealer then.
I'm not. I'm an adventurer.
Oh, an adventurer. An adventurer.
An adventurer.
He gets a coughing fit, and then he says,
adventuring. Well, where have you adventured, oh rash of the memes?
Well, around, we've been to Waterdeep, we've been to Neverwinter, we've been to the parts of the Frozen North, we've been in the High Forest, we've been many places. Many places our adventure has taken us.
It's a lot of places.
It's a lot of places, and a lot of different ales, and I gotta say, you're right, this place is one of the worst.
and
But it does its job, right?
he nods and he says, indeed it does. Sorry, I just got a text from my mother-in-law. Let me apologize for the break in emergency. Give me 1 second. She's like, wait about this.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
Sorry
so I'm
about that.
thinking,
Sorry about that. Sorry, I'm back. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So what was the last thing that you asked him? I apologize.
yeah, I just say, so, well, the ale is crap, but it does what it needs to, right?
And he says, that's right. All it needs to do is cause you to forget what a miserable existence everything is.
And he reaches up and he sort of slaps at his shoulder as if he's looking for something, and then he goes, and he does the right.
Cord, take it all.
And he kind of stops again and reaches for his mug and drinks again.
What have you lost? Or what was taken from you?
Everything. I've lost everything. My family, my lands, most of all, my dignity. They took it from me.
He kind of slaps his left and right shoulder again.
Right there's where I used to keep them.
What you used to keep what?
The only thing worth having.
And he says, and at first you think like he's maybe having like a heart attack or perhaps is about to throw up or
Rope! I was the best rope maker in Yartar. I was the best rope maker in the Middle Sword Coast. I had the best ropes. They would hold no matter what was pulling at 'em, be a frost giant and a dragon. And then I lost all of it.
How did you lose it?
That, my friend, is a tale. I lost it the worst way you can lose anything.
Did you gamble it?
I lost my self-respect. I was gambling, and I lost it. My whole rope business. Now all I've got left is this last coins, and he puts a couple of regular-looking silver coins on the table. That's all I've got left in the world. My wife's left me. My kids abandoned me. My horses won't even look at me. Even the dogs don't spend any time begging for food. And he kind of like looks over blearily in the eye of Fluffball, and Fluffball just turns away slowly, and he says, "See, if I didn't know that wasn't a small horse, I'd
It's definitely a
swear
small
that
horse.
dog was ignoring me too. I lost all of it. All because I thought I had a good winning strategy. But I didn't have a winning strategy. I'm a terrible gambler. And my father would have done." And he breaks off into this drunken blubbering.
Yeah, I put my hand on his shoulder. I kind of console him a bit, like you do with, an elderly dwarf sobbing in a bar, as we have all done in the past. I kind of say, well, it's dark now, sure. That doesn't mean it's the end. You don't need to sit here and drink yourself to death. I mean, drinking to forget bad times, that's one thing, but there comes a point where you have to see that light at the end of the tunnel. And even if it's far away, it's still there. You need to see it to know it's there. It is going to get better.
And he sort of is listening to that.
How would you know what it means to lose things? What would you know about it, adventurer Meme Rash? What would you do?
I take another long pull of my drink. I set it on the table. I'm going to say, there have been times when I have lost things that are irreplaceable. That has been, it could have been items of great value to me, situations that I wish I could change, and my eyes kind of go slightly glassy, or friends that we'll never see again.
And he
And
kind of
losing them,
nods slowly.
just, you can't throw yourself down a dark hole because bad things have happened to you. It's easy. God, I know it's easy, but it's not the end. And I think of all the people that I've lost, and all the times that I have lost and nearly lost in my life through my career and my adventuring ways, if I'd have stopped, then what I'm trying to achieve, what my comrades here are trying to achieve, that would all stop as well, and that would cost more lives. And sometimes it's as easy as just one step at a time. Life is, and I smile a bit and I go, a friend once told me that life is a series of very small choices that you just have to make in the right way. If you make these choices just one at a time and don't think of the big picture, not right now, not if you can't, just focus on what you can do right here, right now, then it's easier. So what do I do when I get up in the morning and my body aches, and my bones hurt, and my wounds haven't healed properly, and I need to get up, and I need to go and be an adventurer, live this grand life, and I need to put my life on the line for friends and family, and I'm tapping on the shoulder, and complete strangers. And there have been times when I've put my life on the line for complete strangers, when I know full well that I wasn't at full capacity and I shouldn't have been doing it. But all I needed to do at that point is wake up, put my boots on, and take a walk out the door. The rest of it, I'll figure out later.
It's interesting there, Meme Rash. You've got some thoughtful things to say. But what you didn't talk about is throwing it all away. You can lose it, but if you took it and threw it into the Desserin out there, that's a whole different kettle of fish. And he kind of looks at, at the plate of now eaten food on his table.
And friend, that's a bad choice. No one's going to take that away from you. You made that choice, and it stank. As bad as the ale, right? But what you have power over right now is what you do with the remnants of that choice. And you sit here, drink yourself into poverty. I mean, that's an easy choice, right? You have an amount of money and you want to get drunk and you want to forget your woes. What happens tomorrow when you have no money and you still want to get drunk? You're in a bad place then. Or you can try and figure a way out of this. Either you can... Is there a way you can win your business back? Is there a way you can rebuild it?
Sure. If I could get it back from that maggot. You can see he's like clearly trying. His brain is starting to like ramp up every insult he can think of at once and combine them all, and he just ends up not guy or the one who owns the place that took all of my winnings. I went back, I begged him, I said, let me pay you back. It takes months, I'll do it. Years even. But no, he seized my business, took my home, and left me with nothing. That's when my family abandoned me too. I know I made a mistake, but this one, let me tell you, friend, this one doesn't have a heart. He's got just stone where a heart should be.
Who is this person?
His name is Lord Dra. And so there's a moment, and then Arliss kind of says, I think he's referring to Lord Caspier Dryland. That's the one, that one octopus-loving goddess. And he kind of goes off into a bunch of ununderstandable, completely, indiscernible curses, and then says, he's the one. He owns the Grand Dame down there on the river. It's a casino boat, you understand. And they all say that it's the most beautiful, the best-looking lords and ladies you ever saw, and the best games to be found. I thought I'd find some fish in the games there. What I found instead were sharks, and one really nasty-looking whale. Lord Dryland, that's who he is, may he rot at the bottom of the sea.
Well, things will get better for you. I know this. And the fact that we're having this conversation means that things have already turned around for you. You've just made a friend of a half-orc adventurer. How many people can say that? Also, I'm going to make sure that you get some food in you and a good night's sleep as well. Because if you've not got home because this Lord Dryload or Dryland took your house and everything, then I want to make sure that you get a good night's sleep. What's the name of the owner of this establishment?
Arliss is the name of this place.
Arliss. Is Arliss within earshot?
Oh yeah, everyone's within earshot. It's a pretty small place.
Cool. That's what I thought. I was like, Arliss, do you have rooms here?
Aye, sir, we've got a couple. They're not particularly well made up yet. I haven't had a chance to furnish them. I have to still set up the bed. The instructions are a little strange. They're all in pictures, you see, and I don't fully,
kind of
Oh,
nods.
I can do those. Does it come with a little wrenchy thing?
I think so. I can't find where I put it though. It's
Yeah, but it's
I'll
made
do
of
it.
wood. It's made of wood. It's just a knot from a tree that you put into the holes of the other trees and just tighten them everything together. Yeah. So I go over to Alice and I'll say, look, what's the dwarf's name? Like I'm asking Alice this because he never told me.
that one. His name's Raynar, and Raynar's sort of a sad story. Admittedly, he's a blowhard, and he spends most of his nights using up what's left of his money bewailing his fortune. But he's right. In his day, he had the best ropes anyone had in Yartar. Strong enough to hold back a dragon if you needed. But then he lost it all. There's something funny about that place he talked about too, that Grand Dame. A lot of people who go there lose their money. They don't disappear, there's nothing obvious, but something ain't quite right over there, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm not one of
No,
the
I
city
think
watch,
I-
I'm just a tavern owner.
No, absolutely. And, you know, if you were to happen to express such concerns with traveling adventurers who may or may not be looking for such a place, then I'm sure, you know, they may or may not be inclined to investigate this place. That being said, I want to make sure he's not, like, on the streets or anything like that, because even if it's a nice town and he was a respected member of the community, he's not in a good way. So I'm going to give you, well, I'd like to know how much the room is, like, for a couple of nights, and also some food for him as well.
He nods and he says, "Normally, sir, it would cost 3 silver to stay here for the night. But because I appreciate what you're trying to do for him, because I think you're adventurers that know what you're about, and because I appreciate you trying the fresh fish special, I'm going to do a discount for you. For 2 silver, I'll put him up here for 3 nights, room and board."
Wow, excellent. Yeah, that works. That's amazingly generous of you. Thank you. Yeah, that's fantastic. I will
And he
pass him
nods.
3 silver. I will pass him 3 silver, and I'll say, look, I feel a bit weird about you giving me such a discount, and I know your brother kind of pointed us towards this place, but still, I'd like you to take at least a night's board, and if there's any problems or anything like that, and we come back, then just let us know.
And he nods and he says, Go ahead, Greta.
Arliss, are we talking about a rope that can literally hold a dragon?
Well, I don't know as I've ever seen anyone test it, but I'll tell you this. For a time, that rope was used to hold up every dock piling that you see up and down these docks. It held out against wind and weather. You see, Raynar's family have been in the business for a long time, and for at least 100 years, they were the biggest rope-making family in all of Yartar. You wouldn't want to buy anything other than one of their ropes. Until, as you've heard, he threw it all away. Now no one knows what they're getting. Half of them are these strange knockoffs. They come from a Yokoya or something like that, I think. They've named the ropes funny things. Bjorn and Bjornston and names like that. Really strange. And they come with these weird manuals. I don't know. Not worth what it used to be like when Raynor and his family were making ropes. I don't know if it'd hold back a dragon, but I don't know any other rope could do it better than this one anyway.
Well,
Alsik, you know about casinos. Could we win a rope business if we go to a casino?
If we won, we could win a rope business.
Oh, so we could just go win his rope business back and he could make us a rope to hold a dragon.
There's
Possibly.
usually a few more steps than that.
that's a very too long didn't read version of what's going to happen, isn't it? So just very quickly jumping in to Arliss, I'll say, look, when he sobers up, I'm assuming he's going to be sober in the morning. We might come back and I might want to have a conversation with him about such a rope because, well, let's just say a rope that can hold back a large creature would be very beneficial to us right now. But yeah, if you look after him, that would be much appreciated. Thank you. And I'll just go over to the party who, I'll go over to Celtic specifically, and I'll just go, so I think I found you a casino.
I think I heard some of that.
I think I heard some of that. I was sat next to him.
So, is it the same casino? Is it the one with the goose coin?
Don't know yet.
We don't know yet. I want to be a bit more discreet about that because they may or may not know we're already on our way. Best not clue them that we're already here.
Very true. And we don't want to ask too many questions because we don't know who's on their payroll. But, I mean, it's the only one that the tavern owner said that there's something strange about that place. And if there's any other gambling establishments in the area, there's people trying to make a quick coin. You know, if there's people losing entire businesses to a floating casino, there's something a bit weird about that.
Standard for any reputable casino to take everything from you. They'll take every coin you brought with you.
Yeah, well, that's repeat business then, isn't it? So
yeah.
You mean if there was a dragon who would have maybe murdered somebody, he would have an interest of stopping people making rope that can hold dragons?
possibly.
I don't know.
It might just be a very valuable business.
It could be very valuable if the ropes are half as good.
I believe I heard someone once refer to it as band awareness.
Band awareness? Okay.
Yeah. I thought he was talking about these little, like, rubbery things that hold things together, but I think it might have been a bit more than that. Like, being aware of the bands means you look for the bands, and then you buy them. And that can apply to other businesses, too, I think.
Something like that, I think, yeah.
I don't know. But if we're going to a floating casino, it might be a bad timing to pick up the horses, right?
Well, we could probably go check on them. Like,
Yeah,
we
we
don't have
should
to go to
check
the
on them.
casino right now.
Yeah, that would also be like, let's like pretend we're normal people looking for their ponies.
Exactly. It's gonna be super suspicious if, you know, four multiracial adventurers just rock into town and just immediately go to the sketchy ass floating casino. You know?
I don't think that's that unusual, to be honest.
Well, you never know.
But yeah, we can find just some discreet inquiries
Okay.
while we
just
find out where Sweet Roll got to.
I believe discreet is your middle name, Mr. Mauer.
Not this week.
Oh, I see. That was last week. Okay.
So, go ahead, Greta.
So, what time of the day is it?
By this point, it's probably, I would say, mid-afternoon, maybe like 3 heading on to 4 p.m., somewhere in there.
Well, then maybe we should look for one of the stables. There are only
Day
3 stables to
drinking.
look at.
Yep.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah, absolutely. So, was the closest one the one we came through? So, was that
That would be the
south?
east one.
East.
Mm-hmm.
We got the east one probably. That's if the ponies are there, Sweet Roll's going to be there, and Carla's Mana change into humanoid form and kind of house the ponies there. That's probably where they are.
Okay. So, are you all heading off to do that, as I understand it?
After the trout, yeah.
Okay, after the
Yeah.
trout, which is
Yeah.
pretty good, actually.
Got to eat.
Trout's pretty good. Trout is solid.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
quality trout.
There'll be no living with River if we don't eat first.
Right, yeah, I was going to say there would be issues with that as well. But chat, quick reset. You are watching episode 238 of Pen and Pixels, D&D with GOG, Storm King's Thunder, with the amazing Pyron J, Darksaber 2K, Peripheral Mike, and of course Tasty Chai with Baby. If you are enjoying what you're seeing, then please make sure to follow us here on GOG.com, subscribe to us here on GOG.com, and check all of our individual channels and stuff like that as well. So, as you head off to do this, when you go to, I'm going to jump forward to the actual stable, you do not find the ponies at the eastern stable, but you do find them ultimately at the southern stable, and all 3 of them are there, and apparently in very good health. Sweet Roll remembers you, Greta, immediately, and goes over and nuzzles you sort of in the hand, and is sort of poking. Sweet Roll pokes his or her. I don't remember if Sweet Roll was
Her, and
her.
I'm gonna tell her she's the best girl.
Yeah, so she basically bumps into your hand, and her nose is going down towards your pocket, like repeatedly, like she's looking for something in your pocket.
I look in my pocket.
And in your pocket, you remember that you used to keep sugar cubes and apple cubes there, but at the moment,
Yes, I did.
I don't know if you still have. Do you have sugar cubes still there?
think I will look through my stuff. Maybe I have something nice.
Yeah, you find a couple of like sort of semi-ratty sugar cubes. You've been through a lot, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yes. So I'll then approach the stable owner to find out for how long they are still boarded, so they do not get like, I don't know, pawned.
Oh, well, that's not any problem, miss. These ones are boarded here for the next month and a half. In fact, they left enough money to be able to keep them up for quite some time. But this isn't your horse, miss, is it? The one who dropped it off was, well, just a regular-looking human male, dark gold hair. It seemed regular, normal. Just said he would be traveling and be back in a couple of months and to take the best care of them conceivable.
Well, he's a friend of ours who took care of our horses because we also went traveling and we were a bit late coming back, so he had to go on his own travels. And now the horses are here and we're happy that they are in your good care.
He nods. He says, because I might need a little bit of ID, you realize, if I wanted to, you know.
No, we're fine. Just checking in. We're not causing any trouble. We know they're here. We're happy. It's good.
He nods and he says, well, I'd like to say that they've never been better. We care about horses here in Yartar. It's important. They do a lot of the barge pulling, you know, up and down the river when they're having to go against current. And besides that, we've got people coming in from all places. Not some of those places down in Red Larch and Westbridge and all them. Here, we know how to take care of people and animals. He nods.
Yeah, thank you. That is, like I said, just reassuring to know they are here. We'll be in town for some time, so it's all good. Did our friend who left the horses here say anything about where he was going?
No, except he said to make sure that I didn't tell anyone any details about him. Not that he gave me any to begin with. I probably shouldn't even have told you about the gold hair, but anyway, no, he didn't say where he was going. Said he could be gone for a long time, though.
Oh well, yeah, that's what we get for being late. Nothing to be done about it.
he nods.
Urash, can you talk to the ponies to see out if they know more?
That's an excellent question. Yes, I can. So if we have at least 10 minutes spare, I can converse with the ponies.
Okay.
Bear with me.
You're looking at speak with animals here?
Yes. So speak with animals. Cast as a ritual. Although limited by the intelligence of the beast, you can understand and speak with beasts. You can learn about the beast's experiences over the last day, as well as the local places and creatures. The beast may also complete a small task for you if the DM allows. It can, if you can successfully convince it to do so. So, I don't think we want any tasks completing by the ponies. But basically, if I sit and use my achievement with nature to commune with Sweetroll and just basically ask, well, firstly, are you allowing this, Harv?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
excellent
far.
stuff. So sit in the stable with Sweetroll. You guys kind of exit. I try and commune with nature, reach out to Sweetroll and sort of make a connection. The connection has been made between Sweetroll and myself. And I understand there's not like a direct communication, if I'm understanding it correctly. I can pick up on emotions and thoughts
Right.
and feeling, not like,
Right, not like,
oh,
Wilbur,
hi,
let me
Rush.
show-
Yeah. So, yeah. Dear diary. No, it's nothing like that. It's more like, I want to convey the feeling of, are you well? Are you well fed? Are you looked after?
Right.
That kind of thing. And I want to pick up on, fear, anger, distress, anxiety, that sort of thing, or comfort and love and warmth, that sort of thing. I want to know what comes back to me from that kind of request.
Yeah, you definitely do not get anything in the way of discomfort or distress. In fact, these are as comfortable as you think you've seen ponies in a long time. Well fed and sort of generally happy. Kind of just sort of, almost sleepy, might be a way to describe it, sort of sleepy happy. Seems like there has not been, especially over the course of a day, it looks like it's been a while since these ponies have been truly frightened.
So I can also pick up on local places and creatures. And what I kind of want to know is I want to send out the question of anything or anyone vastly unusual. So there'll be people that they recognize, there'll be stable hands, there'll be locals, there'll be general mercantile noise in the background. But anything that has startled them, anyone who they didn't recognize immediately, other than maybe us immediately, but anything other than that, any strangers come to visit them.
Right. Definitely, you don't get any impression of strangers.
Okay.
There have definitely been strange people that have passed by and around the stables, but it's a little confused as you're trying to get a read on them, whether it's like strange because like way out of character for the city, or strange for these ponies, because even if they've been here for a while, remember the ponies did not grow up in this kind of an environment, so for them...
there's always going to be strangers. Yeah,
exactly.
And that's fine. So like...
But there's nothing that is like, no, beware the blah, 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 like...
Oh no, the man in the red hood.
Exactly.
That kind of, no, nothing like that. Okay. And
The
no
shadow
like
lords,
loud noises or, sounds of shouting or anything like that that may frighten them. Basically, if there's been any attacks or any large events nearby that will have distressed them or frightened them.
Yeah, it does not seem like that. It seems like it's been a pretty straight ahead, as far as in the stable time.
Then I'm very satisfied. I will end the ritual as softly as I can. I will put all of my ritualistic items away. I will stand, stretch a little bit, and then go over to Sweet Roll, very gently pat it on the head, kind of put my forehead against... Sweet Roll's a she, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yep.
Put my forehead against Sweet Roll's and just say, thank you very much. And then leave.
It goes.
So I go over to Greta. I look a little bit, not exhausted, but like I've had a bad night's sleep all of a sudden. I'll say everything seems fine. Like as far as I can pick up on, there's been no trauma. They're well fed. They're well looked after. There's been no strangers lurking around. There's been no loud noises like dragons or giants or anything like that. They are in a very well state.
It seems like Halismana just walked over here, bought the ponies, and went on his merry way.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, no.
But I think this is a very safe place for them. Actually, I'd say this is probably the safest place for them.
So then I guess we should find a place to leave our stuff and prepare for an evening of gambling. How do we prepare for an evening of gambling, Salsik?
I usually mark cards. Oh, sorry.
Hello, I'm the god. Come with me. Like, damn it.
Yeah, that's I don't think that's an option for me. But thank you.
I mean, it's going to be a tricky one. Because we don't know much about this casino. Sounds shady, which means they probably cheat. Being disreputable, cheaty types. Can't stand people like that.
Nah, it's horrible. Do they even have a permission?
Well, someone's clearly looking the other way, because you don't just have a boat that everybody knows a casino is on without either a patron, a powerful patron, or a hefty sack of gold distributed amongst the local authorities. I would imagine.
Yeah, for a ranger, you really know a lot about this.
He has traveled very
Yes.
far.
He's very well traveled.
I'm a very well-travelled ranger.
So, yeah, well, the thing is, I've got these clothes and I've got my cleric robes. What is more appropriate?
Well, the cleric robes would make you more of a target, which might be beneficial to us.
I just
kind
look
of
up
a
at
target?
Salsig. I'm like, am I just pretending to be your security again?
But they might think I'm a corrupt cleric.
They'll probably think you've come to gamble away the local donations for the week.
Oh no.
Yeah, one quick note actually I just want to make is that one of the things that you were talking when you've been talking about the casino is that this was for very wealthy patrons, and you get the impression that, like, you know, you have to have some serious coin just to get in the game, you know, and to be dressed to look like it too.
Does it also go for clerics?
You don't think they have a lot of clerics that show up on that boat too much, so...
Celsius, have you still got your money suit?
All of the clothes we wore to the ball. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
we should
A
still have
lot's happened to my,
Oh,
my
we've been
backpack
through
since then.
we've been through a lot since then.
Yes.
We have.
And
They were rentals.
And I think I actually wore my cleric robes to the ball in the
You
end.
did as well, actually.
I think you did, yeah. I just couldn't remember if we left him with the ponies or not. If we did. But if we didn't, then never mind.
They're just like,
know
oh yeah,
what
so
we
this
did with
this
them.
strange man with golden hair left us 3 ponies, a tuxedo, an evening dress.
A top hat and
And-
cufflinks.
So yeah, it's
And
like
a
the
money
af-
and a money suit.
and a money
And
suit.
a
It's
money
like
suit. That's
aftermath
right, the
of a
money
weird
suit.
version of
I
Cinderella.
forgot about the money suit. Oh.
Well,
We
technically,
could
I've
use the
had it
money
on
suit
me
now.
this whole time, so I don't think I can, in good consciousness, call it wearable. It's probably not fared much better than Urash's loincloth at
It's
this
well
point.
worn at this point, yes.
Yeah.
Well, Urash has not been
Yeah,
wearing
for
his
breeze, it'll be
tuxedo,
fine.
so his tuxedo should be fine. I'm not going clothing shopping again.
But we could get pretty dresses!
So do we think this is this kind of place we need to be invited in?
We could be
Quite
invited
possibly.
with pretty dresses.
I mean, it's probably inversely proportional to the amount of money they think you have. Like, the more money they think you have, the sloppier you can probably appear. Because you've got
Was-
nothing to prove.
What
Only
was the name of
someone
the person I'm pretending to
truly
be?
wealthy can afford to make no effort.
Do we think Lord Roaringhorn was incredibly wealthy? Because that was who I pretended to be in Neverwinter.
Kind of thought he owned Neverwinter.
I can't remember
Was it
now, to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure if you all just call me Lord Roaringhorn,
That might work.
it'll work.
Right, Greta?
Yeah, it's partially true after all. So
Excellent. Greta's on board with the lie.
it's not a lie. You've got papers to prove it.
Good.
That's a good point, actually. I still have that invitation.
Oh,
Yeah.
Didn't we get a ring or something?
Scariest invitation.
Didn't we get a
ring?
ring or something from Lord Roaring? Or wasn't there something? He gave us stuff.
He did. He gave me a potion of hill giant strength, which is currently rattling around in the bottom of my bag.
I think that might be where I got the potion of water breathing from.
Possibly.
I think that's right.
I got a thing for the pony
Yeah,
that I've
'cause
not been able to use since.
That's true. I was specifically, he was like, oh, if there's anything we can do to help. And I'm like, well, you know, stuff would be nice. Like, magical items would be great. Okay. So,
Okay. So you're Lord Roaringhorn. I'm your house priest,
why not?
and River and Celtic are your guards. So I'll be there and pray for your soul the whole time while you're
Yes.
gambling.
That sounds like an excellent idea. I'm obviously the right person to do this.
More you lose, the more they'll like you.
Oh, okay.
So how much do we have that he can lose?
I don't have any to
I don't know, how much do you have?
I gave it all to the
I think I
bloody
have-
blacksmith.
I think I have like 5 silver.
I point against the loincloth. I'm like, this doesn't have pockets.
Where do you usually like when you?
There it is.
I'm like,
Yep. Mhm.
No, don't ask questions
Bring
you don't want the
bring
answer
question
to.
down. You know you've already started it.
it's just-
Everyone was thinking the same thing, so just, you know.
maybe you should wear your tuxedo for this time, just to have a place to
Hey, if I've still
keep
got it, I'll wear it.
money. Does he still have his tuxedo?
I would say that he probably does, although it's very folded and dusty and, like, you know, somewhat the worse for wear without a cleaning. Celsig's
there a-
money suit is, you know, ruined beyond, like, up here.
Is
Can I
there a
salvage the
tailor's?
gem cufflinks?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, you're just
But
like
your tuxedo is
picking the gold plates.
functional-ish, but definitely does not look top level at the moment.
Is there a tailor's nearby?
You could probably find one.
Let's go find a tailor's.
Are you asking now in terms of like how fast you want this work done? Because it is middle, it is like I said about 3-4 o'clock, so you are able to get there before it closes. But are you going to be like, we need this by tonight, let's go, and then like impress them by dropping a bunch of money that you may or may not possess?
I would like that, depending on how much of Celsius money I can spend. He's my financier.
I've also possibly got to finance the casino.
Yep. Ocean's Pharaoh.
Bear in mind, I'm not even sure I'll have enough to qualify as worth the casino's attention.
Yeah.
And that's not me being coy about how much I've got. I'm just, in terms of how stated the fabulously wealthy of this casino are going to be.
I'd like to emphasize that I am dirt poor.
Mm-hmm.
Do you again point to your loincloth when you emphasize that? Like just
dirt poor.
Okay, well, if we can find a discreet corner, Celsic can have a quick count using his magic counting fingers, which we've all established are really, really quick and accurate now. And we'll see how much we've got.
Yeah.
Okay,
Obviously, it says on my adventure sheet, but
Okay, I'll be very, very honest. I actually do not know how much Gretar has because I didn't keep track. But I think I never actually picked up anything.
Right.
Except for the helmet.
I think on a couple of occasions I even tried to force you to take a share of the money and you didn't.
right.
I think I took a little money, but not really anything. I have the helmet though.
Right.
Which
The
is
helmet,
true.
and you could just sell the helmet.
Yeah, I mean the helmet is not like doing magical things anymore, right? Because it's like that door is closed. I mean,
Oh.
I could quickly test it. Like,
Yeah. No, it doesn't do anything. I mean, certainly I can imagine that a cleric of Faltus who had a connection with the dwarf that had been found within it would be happy to pay it off so that you guys could go gamble. I mean, I can't imagine why that wouldn't just, why selling off a priceless heirloom to fulfill a gambling
Why didn't you think
debt?
of that before, Grant?
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Well,
I was just having fun.
do we-
No,
do
I've
we
never
actually-
said anything about the helmet being a priceless helmet.
I don't
do
know.
we,
I
do
just
we
made it up
actually
just
need
now.
to have a lot of money? Or is this just like they
just
need
need
to
to-
think we have a lot of money so we can get on the boat and then start causing trouble?
No. You just need to win a lot of money, like at the first step. If you have a
We need
little
to
money,
find out the connection between the gambling token, the dead giant queen, and this casino, which, to be fair, we don't even know is connected to the token yet.
It's true. We should probably
We just
Try
got
and
told
find that
about
out
this
first.
casino.
Yes,
I
we should
assume
probably
this
try
must
and
be
find
the
that out
only
first.
casino.
yes. So
It
if
could have
we
been
were to try and
Dave's
find that
dodgy
out-
disco discount casino, for all we know.
Dave's disco boat.
even if it is
Disco
the,
boat barbecue and bingo.
There's one near me. I'm not even joking.
Dave's disco boat?
There is a disco boat because I live near the River Trent. So there is in high summer, there is, well, before COVID, there's an actual like boat, like a yacht boat that goes up and down the Trent that,
Wow.
that rents itself out as a disco.
You just walk out and you just hear young man. Da, 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 da. Like,
Yeah,
See,
usually.
They serve alcohol, because that seems like a really bad
Ooh, yes.
choice.
Yes, they do.
So-
God.
There's a bar.
sorry.
even
go
if it
ahead.
isn't the Goose Casino, it could still be the casino of winning back a dragon wrangling rope business casino.
That's true. I do think we should try and help this guy out if we can.
It would be a
Um,
nice coincidence, but we don't know for certain that it's the same casino.
We should probably go find out, like, if we can go nearby and Celsic can do ranger things and find out. I'm not sure. I kind of gesticulate a bit to Celsic in like this aura. I'm just like, he can do ranger things and range them. I don't know.
Can we say I've been
Yes.
counting while we've had this discussion?
Sure.
Yeah,
Please.
just for brevity. Yeah. So I've got 382 gold. And
I have sent you. I have 100.
okay. And I got about 230 silver as well.
Okay. Reasonably important question.
Yeah.
So when I went to blacksmith last session, many moons ago,
Right.
and I kind of put all of my worldly belongings onto the counter. Did he actually take all of my money?
He just about all of it. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Because, you were having some good stuff done, so...
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Can't we just pretend like we have a lot of money and look all rich and regal and stuff? I sparkle. That looks rich and regal.
Yeah?
Yeah. We just act like we belong there.
You look
We
well
own-
expensive. You do. You look well expensive.
Yeah. But you just look expensive. You don't actually be expensive.
You can always gamble the Harper pin.
Wait, do I actually have to gamble?
It's at
Yes,
least
did you not?
expected.
Did you not know this was a thing?
I don't want to
We've
gamble.
all been practicing Texas Hold'em, right?
I have heard that really rich people have like test eaters who have to test everything they eat before they eat it. You could do that.
I could do that.
I
would
usually
like-
expect some food left over after the tasting,
Yes.
though.
I will guard the buffet. Just in case.
It's just,
Excellent.
if this is the casino and if they know we're coming, we might just be in trouble really, really soon. So maybe not getting poisoned is also a really good thing.
I just introduced myself. It's like, I'm Lord Roaringhorn. This is my bodyguard and financier, Sel Sigmauer. This is my personal priest and my personal food guard.
You can be eccentric. That is fine for rich people.
You have to guard the food. What if it gets up and leaves?
Exactly.
Gotta make-
Something leaves.
Usually
Yeah.
it's been undercooked in my
Yeah,
experience.
I was going to
I
say that's
wonder
a
if we
very
should-
raw steak.
I have to admit, at this point, I'm wondering whether we should take some of the black manta ray just in case we need to like blow our weight out of the boat.
But don't we still have to wait a day for that to go off?
Yeah, but
Hey, we could be there a while. Like, we could wait until morning. And then it's just a question of time.
It could make a good distraction.
We could do so. Okay, not that I've been playing Hitman ever, but we could kind of scope out the boat, right? Place bits of like desiccated manta ray around the hull, and then do what we need to do. And that's kind of our exit strategy. If things go sideways, then all of a sudden, boom, exploding fish, and everyone's like, "Oh no, what's going on? It's an exploding fish on the outside of the boat." And we're like, "See you later, suckers."
And what happens if things do go according to plan?
Then we sink an illegal casino.
Actually, we don't know it's illegal. I said it's shady. I didn't say it was illegal.
Then we sink a boat.
Have water breathing. We will be fine.
I can also blow up things.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
I mean, there may or may not be people on the boat.
Yeah, there might be innocent people. I mean, just because the casino's shady doesn't mean the people in it are.
That's very true.
So
There's
Let's
a
get-
slightly large hole in this plan, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
As big
So
as the
I
ship
think-
you want
I
to
mean, if they
blow
all
up.
turn out to be evil, then burn it up! Burn it up!
I mean, yeah, absolutely, like proper Viking
Looking
burial.
for? Are we just trying to figure out who wanted us to go there because of the coin? Right? To find
Right
out
now,
about.
I'm not even sure what we're doing.
Yeah, I was like, why are we going?
Right.
the coin was found
I
where
hold up the coin.
Yes.
so the coin
A
was found.
coin.
The coin was found where the giant queen
the giant
was killed.
queen.
The
Yeah.
giant lady was killed.
Right.
Yes. And so we think that maybe one of the murderers dropped it because it didn't belong in that place. So
Okay,
we
so
found
what? Do
out
we
that
just ask the patrons, like, hey, did you murder a giant queen recently?
No, we do.
Maybe
We do
need
the.
some
We do the like whole. Oh, my shoulder hurts after murdering that giant monarch. Ah, anybody else? Ah.
no, it's the blue dragon knows that we're on the way to finding out who murdered the dragon
That's
queen.
also true.
The giant queen. So then, if these are the people who did it, they will be warned of us. So if they attack us, we know it's been them.
Yeah. And someone in Neverwinter wanted to make sure we got here by giving us another token with the letter Y. That may have been the Harpers. Although,
That's
as
a
you
really good
know,
point.
they
I
were
forgot about
bloody
that.
cryptic about whether it was or wasn't.
I forgot
They
about
do
that.
that.
Also, if we are really lucky, these tokens are worth a lot of money, which will facilitate our gambling.
We only have 2 of them.
Yes.
We can only gamble twice. Make it count.
Yeah.
Or perhaps
Oh,
yeah,
once,
sounds
depending
like-
on the gamble. Or
Maybe
perhaps-
Lord Roaringhorn doesn't like gamble himself, but has like his lackey who does the gambling for him.
I'm more
he
peruse the
stands-
room.
While he stands behind him and does like,
You better win me money.
I sound like a goose.
slave.
do gambling lackey, get the thing
Do
right.
gamble, slave.
Luck
Oh,
better be a
well, I
lady
got the food.
tonight.
This is great.
Do you feel lucky, punk?
Yeah.
So wait, our plan is literally go up to the gambling casino place and see if somebody tries to murder us. What if someone doesn't try to murder us? Then what are we just?
Well, according to Urash, we murder everyone on the boat anyway.
Then I tell you
Then
what,
we win a rope business.
hey, that was an idea.
I mean,
It's like
okay.
we either fight people or we win a rope business. There are like two options
Look,
here.
we either get into a
It's a pretty wild two options.
we get
I think
into a
Faultus approved.
Yeah,
It will
what
be
is wrong with
soon.
that? We either help a really poor dwarf who might have been cheated, or
Mhm.
we help solving the murder. Whatever we do, we are doing the right thing.
Generally, that's our.
That's
That's
right,
our
Lord
kind of
Roaring
MO.
Horn.
That's kind of our MO, really, isn't it? We go somewhere and either we get into a fight or we have the night off. That's kind of it, really, isn't it?
There really isn't a lot of middle ground.
Yeah,
now,
there's not
Oh,
really.
yeah.
That's kind of it, really.
Near-death scenario, a couple of pints in the pub.
So and knowing
kind
Imagine
of-
the last 2 pints were a near-death scenario.
Oh man,
and
my
knowing
stomach
that,
makes another funny noise.
and knowing that like Heart is coming up, we could cut it here and then get on the boat next time.
Well, I have a setup for that. We have literally 5 minutes before we start getting ready because 6:50 is when I want us to stop. So if you're heading to the boat, I have a way to finish the session if we're going to do that. If you are heading
head
there.
to the boat and see the state of trying to get on it.
We can at least have a look at the guard situation, and if they've got that logo emblazoned on the side, we can be like, "This is the place, guys."
Oh, look at that flag!
Yeah.
So, and are you getting dressed before you go there? Like, are you getting the full 9, whatever? You can use some with that money that you have. It'll cost you a little bit of money to outfit yourself, but if you were to spend probably 20 gold of that amount that you had, you would probably be able to equip you'd look pretty good. You'd look pretty legitimate as like well-dressed figures trying to get onto this boat.
I'll stump over the cash then.
So, and Greta, are you getting out of the cleric robes to do the full, casino work, or are you going to stay on as the private cleric of Lord Roaringhorn there?
Salsic, what do you think is the best plan? Should I try to appear as the cleric I am, because I don't think I could really act like somebody else?
It's true. I mean, my desire for an ironclad disguise kind of runs into your brutal honesty.
I mean, what would be my ironclad disguise if I had one?
And to be fair, no one would suspect you were pretending to be a cleric if you came dressed as a cleric.
So I go dressed as a cleric?
You are the personal cleric of Lord Roaringhorn. You
I
go
will-
everywhere he goes to pray to Foltest or whoever Lord Roaringhorn's god of choice is, to bring him luck in all things, which is why he is so fabulously wealthy.
Okay. So I dress in my best cleric robe with all the things. I even do my hair.
Oh, wow, okay. Then we got the tuxedo for Urash, which has to be gussied up, but once it's cleaned up a little bit, which the tailor can do. Celsig, are you getting the money suit 2.0? Is that what we're looking at?
Well, try and get it stitched up, because
Stitched up, okay.
ironically I'm not made of money.
Yeah, it'll take some work, but they can do that. And then
Yeah.
River, are you just getting like a particular shine on the scales? Are you wearing a particular kind of ribbon? Like what do you, like tunic? What are we looking at?
Okay, this is like akin to for those of you who have seen Firefly, Kaylee's dress. I am looking for the most ridiculous, outlandish, frilly thing to wear
Gonna
that
have to
looks
Google search
awful.
this.
It looks like it came from Walmart, but it brings me joy, and that's what I'm doing.
Gotcha. So the 3 well-dressed and the 1
Oh,
Walmart
wow.
dressed walk walk along down to what is known as the Grand Dame. And as you are, the Grand Dame, and as you're standing there right at the dock, you can see there's two, I will have a map for you next time, but there's two entrances basically on, and you can see that there are a number of very burly looking, clearly guards who are standing and kind of checking, information. And when you come up, you can see, as you are sort of walking up there, that there is one person in particular who is standing there, who's kind of like supervising what the guards are doing. And he sees you as a big-looking guy, big bushy beard, and that sort of thing. And as you come up, he looks at you from a distance and kind of looks you up and down. And one of the guards is about to start talking to you. And he says, all right. I don't recognize you. Who are you?
Presenting Lord Roaringhorn and guests.
I look as regal and nonchalant as possible.
Lord Roaringhorn. Of the Waterdeep Roaringhorns, you mean?
The same.
That's fascinating. Because I've done plenty of business with Lord Roaringhorn. And unless you're a long-lost cousin, you ain't no lord that I know. And he sort of looks at you and says, now tell me, you're just trying to get on board so you can steal some of what you'll find here, ain't that right?
I resent that.
How dare you?
Actually, we just want to see if anyone will shoot us in the face.
We attended a ball with the Lord Roaringhorn, head of all Lord Roaringhorns, just last year.
I think you'll find if you ask certain members of the party who were available at such a ball last year, they will say that we were present and we did a spectacular rendition of the Roaring Horn family dance.
He kind of looks you up and down. Make a deception check for me. Who do I want to make this? Urash, because you're Lord Roaringhorn, but because of Celsig's help, I'm going to ask you to do this at advantage.
But I'm not lying to him. All of that stuff happened.
Yes, those things happen.
I mean,
Boy, am I glad that you did this at
as-
advantage.
Yeah.
So we'll just get rid of that little 3.
Yeah, go on then. Oh, fantastic.
So
We're all telling the truth, especially River.
Yeah, that's literally
Persuasion?
the
so he
truth.
looks you
the
up and
ball.
down and he's like,
Get the dance.
I'm sorry. I can't possibly let... And then you hear a handsome-sounding voice from the deck saying, I can vouch for them, my friends, because it is time for them to enter the boat with me! And you look up and you see your friend, all of our joyous friends,
I'm done.
the
I'm out.
great,
Bye. See ya.
well-known... Why can't I find his name?
Nesto.
Nesto, yes, thank you. Nesto the Bard, who fixes you with a big smile and says, my friends, it has been far too long. And that is where we are going to end our session for today. I am super excited that we have him back with us.
I'm glad you are.
It's great. He's on the deck. We do have to make sure that we do our wrap-ups quick so I can get over to Blackheart. I will start, as always, with River, with Tasty Chai. Chai, I know that you were also dealing with Baby, who is also wanting to be a part of this. Hello, Baby. But
Adorable.
there may be more. There is more, I think, that's going to happen now that you folks are on the boat, or almost on the boat. We will see. But you did have a chance to get all gussied up and to make some good suggestions about how you were actually going to look as you did this. How'd you feel about today? Where will the folks find you next?
I felt great about today. You know, the amount that I was able to play, I had a lot of fun with. Baby, I am trying to talk. But as far as where the people see me next, I am streaming over on my personal channel in the mornings during her nap, which is more regular, but still not perfectly regular. So if you follow me over there, I've been just playing random GOG games, which is, of course, accurate because GOG stream channel. So here we are. But yeah, had a great time. Can't wait for next time. Hopefully it'll be sooner than
Yes,
6 weeks.
sooner than 6 weeks for sure.
Yeah.
We'll try to make sure that that is the case. Thank you, Chai. It's always a pleasure. Also, always a pleasure to have new homeowner Mike with us, whose internet was great all the whole time and everything was fine. And and a lot of good stuff. And it was great to see the return of Lord Roaringhorn and full
Yep.
tux outfit, of course, for Rush. And I very much liked also the RP that you were doing with Raynor there, drunken dwarf back at the Fresh Fish. It was interesting to see the sort of interactions that we had there. How'd you feel about today? Where would the lovely folks see next?
I felt absolutely fantastic about today. I love this group. I love this game. I love D&D in general. You're all a big part of my life and a big part of my heart, and I can't wait to play again. So, if you want to check me out in all my non-video game related stuff, it's twitter.com/peripheralmike, or you can check out peripheralmedia.net to see some updates that may be going up there soon, who knows. But I'm not doing anything game related right now. It's just all tech stuff, so keep an eye on that.
Good stuff. Always a pleasure, Mike. Thank you very much, as always. The baby was celebrating with you as you were talking about all the things you were doing.
Best celebration.
Yeah, absolutely. Was also a pleasure, of course, Darksaber, as always, to have you there. And again, I lied slightly in that I thought that Celsig would be is going to be more used now, though, because you're actually there with the casino stuff. But you did find your way to this casino and had a lot of things about how you want to appear that way. And I was finding it funny as you're now the party accountant, like how, do we have enough to even do this? What is this going to look like? How do I bankroll stuff? How'd you feel about today? Where would the lovely folks see you next?
Today has been great fun. It has, for various, justifiable reasons, been far too long since we did this last.
Yep.
It's been great fun to come back to everybody. Loads of fun, loads of great RP. Enjoyed the pun wars we had earlier as well, because that's how I roll.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and looking forward to next time, where I'm going to have to figure out, can we win money before we lose all our money? And how?
Win first, lose later. Yes, that is definitely going to be a very big part of things going on. And and we'll see you either streaming here or on your channel at some point. When?
I will be here tomorrow evening, starting 9 p.m. my time, basically same time slot as tonight for D&D, and I'm going to be playing, because it's on the sale this week, the huge sale, Stalker, Shadow Chernobyl, which I haven't played in years.
Nice.
And I just fancied a trip down memory lane with it. So with no mods, we're just doing plain vanilla Stalker, Shadow Chernobyl. I'm really looking forward to trying it again. Awesome. And I'll be back on my channel Thursday. So yeah, take care. Awesome,
man. We'll have to check that out. Thank you all, as always. Thank you also for doing the dashboard and Mubat, as always. Also a pleasure to have, as usual, Pyron Jade with us. Pyron, it was great fun to see Greta, and I was enjoying the experience of figuring out what kind of clothing Greta was going all right, the best cleric robes, even doing my hair. That was really funny. And I was also enjoying the fact that you're like, okay, well, we're going to go to a casino now. I'm sure that'll be fine. So anyway, I was having fun with that. How did you feel about today? Where would the lovely folks see you next?
I love this today. It's always so wonderful to play with all of you. And I'm actually trying to find a slot because I feel like going back to streaming at least a little bit. Maybe doing something outside of my comfort zone. I don't know, a platformer, something that I usually don't play. Also, Pencils, Aaron, and I are looking to setting up our revenge match for Epic Pinball, because for some inexplicable reason I lost against him last time, and that cannot stand. And so, you'll see me around a little bit more on this channel. Also, please have a look at our schedule, because we will have some very special streams this week with Flayos and Loveless that are still nailing out the details there. And and Dango Kitty as well. And so we're having lots of cool stuff coming up this week that is not on the schedule yet. So please keep an eye on it. That's it from me.
Good stuff. Thank you, Pyron. Always a pleasure. I'm a huge fan of this crew, as you all know. Thank you so much, friends, and we will do this faster next time. I will ask for scheduling, and I might even accidentally be like, could we maybe do twice? And, we'll see whether Pyron allows it. I don't know. But anyway, we'll talk about it and find out. But always a pleasure. Thank you so much, chat. Can we get some love for Pyron Jade, Darksaber2K, Mike Smith, and, of course, Tasty Chai. Always a pleasure, everybody, and we will see you soon. Bye for now. All right. That is going to do it for us. And again, this music that you heard today was Green Forge Studio did this music. I really love this, and I hope you folks enjoyed this as well. Super happy with it. And yeah, so Green Forge Studio, which is licensed for use in the campaigns I run, both here and on my own channel. But it is now time for me to give way to Mr. Blackheart, who is going to be streaming some Spelunky, I believe, and I'm going to go down and have some dinner. So you folks should stick around for that. I will be back on my channel tomorrow evening for more D&D. If you like this, community D&D, Dragon of Icespire Peak, with members of my community. So we will have Shadowed Mage as your DM, with Trishy Mats, Echo Alpha X5, Hoodie, and Rock God will be joining you for more D&D shenanigans. Then I'll be here on Friday on my channel with some Esper Genesis, my space opera, and Saturday for D&D with viewers. So if you would like to play some D&D with me, you can stop by my channel at that time if you would like to do so. And I'll be right back here on GOG next Tuesday with some more of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Blood and Wine as I move towards wrapping up that DLC, which has been amazing. That's going to do it for now. Much love to everybody. Don't forget to follow the channel here on GOG, subscribe to us here on GOG, and thank you all so much. And also click through and subscribe and support us on all our individual channels as well. And thank you all so much for being here because you're all lovely people. Thank you especially today to my players. Great work as always, and I was super happy to be back with them as well. That's going to do it for me. Everyone be good to each other, and I will see you folks all very soon. Until then, stick around for Blackheart. Good night.